Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. There's already 100 of you waiting for us to get going. Today we're going to be reading chapters 4 through 6 from the 5th arc of ReZero, and we have a debut of a few new characters here too. We're going to briefly go over introductions once again before we get started here. Hello everyone. Voice changer Hollow is Anastasia's VA confirmed. You'll just have to wait and see, my guy. You'll just have to wait and see. We have a lovely lineup of casts here today. Some of them are old faces from last reading, some of them are brand new. So without further ado, let's go right down the line and get introductions out of the way. We have a bit more people here today. Some are just listening, some are participating. So let's get right into that. Also, thank you Professional Sleeping Bag for the $20 dono and Speaker Illustrations for becoming a channel member. Welcome aboard. Let's start our introductions. We have a new person here. Can say what's up, Allie. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Allie VA, and I'm going to be playing Anastasia Hoshin, and I'm also going to be narrating for Chapter 5 today.
Hello, I am Giga, and I'll be voicing as Beatrice, I suppose.
Hello, my name is Kyles, and I will be your Emilia again and Ram.
Hey guys, I'm Super, and I'll be voicing Garf, and I'm here to skip school.
Hello, I'm Jace. I'm not going to be playing anything today, but I am the sound director.
Hi guys, Hollow here. I'm going to be voicing everyone's favorite knight, Julius.
Hi everybody, my name is Nugget, and I'm Mimi!
Hello everyone, I'm WolfClaw, also known as Wolf, and I'm voicing Natsuki Subaru, again, for some reason.
It's me, it's your boy, Kanda, playing Best Boy Otto. You already know. Enjoy the show.
Hello everybody, it's just your humble Wooloo, Sleeping Wooloo here. I will be playing Regulus Corneus, but not today because I'm going to be narrating for Chapter 4, and I'm really happy to be here.
Hello, I'm Pakirli. I'm voicing Reinhard von Estrella, but not today. I'll be narrating on Chapter 6.
And I'm Gold, and I'm going to be voicing both Roswell and Joshua Juukulius. Yeah.
We have another dono from Devotion, I think that says. Thank you all for the read. Keep up the good work. We're trying. We're all going to chug with all of you during this reading. It has to come out at least once. That's okay, at least once. But yeah, just to go over some housekeeping, I guess, before we get into this reading. I got the chat lined up this time, guys. I didn't forget about the chat this time around. No, it's here. So if you guys become a channel member, if you guys don't know or ask questions during the stream, since we are going to be fully immersed in reading, that's why Anastasia's little icon is there. I'm going to be reading all that in between chapters. We have brief 10 to 15 minute discussions. I believe Lightning's going to be coming in around a half hour late. So whenever he comes in, we'll just have a brief talk with everybody. You know, give them a chance to rest and recover for the next chapter, especially if they have a prominent role as we're reading here throughout. We also have a slightly updated version of the WolfClaw translations that we'll be using, just so that we don't flub up lines if there's any errors or whatnot. So what we're reading might be a bit different from what you're following along with, if you are reading along with us. And yeah, without further ado, if everybody in this call is ready to roll out, we can go ahead and start with Chapter 4.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Enthusiasm,
Let's
I like it.
go.
Let's do it.
Let's go!
It took them 3 days before they set out for Pristella.
I respect Emilia Sama's decision, and there's nothing urgent for her to do here, so I'm amenable to it. Though it is worrying that their intentions are unreadable.
The meeting of the Western Lords. Conference between Margrave Roswell and the other lords under the banner would be taking place in the mansion of the most neutral lord among them. Lords were generally compliant to Roswell's deed, but some definitely voiced some objection and unease about his support for Emilia. Most of the lords welcomed Roswell's policy of demi-human favoritism, rather equality for demi-humans. Half-elves were not commonly regarded as demi-human. For the past year, they had succeeded in getting some lords to support her superficially. both discussions and deals. This conference was, in part, to establish a podium for her to speak with the lords who still refused her out of stubbornness. Roswell was leaving the mansion empty to set up that groundwork.
I'm sorry. I honestly wanted to attend the meeting too, but...
It would backfire. The purpose of this meeting is so that you may speak with them later, meaning that it would be foul play to reveal you at the stage. However, if you could calm the confusion and silence the rebelling lords with some masterful piece of oration, that would be nice.
I don't think I can manage that yet. Okay, I'll behave.
Emilia pursed her lips and cast her gaze down in frustration. Roswell nodded at her, satisfied. Subaru did not want to object to Roswell's somewhat sarcastic tone. At least it meant the guy was speaking with her much more sincerely. It was infinitely better than last year, when Roswell had blatantly treated Emilia as an accessory and kept away from the political issues. So Emilia had divulged to Subaru after he complained about it. Roswell made for a far more dependable supporter now that he was being proactive. Since his motives were questionable, it was only half as beneficial as it initially seemed.
Assuming that Petra's definitely going to the meeting, who's left in the mansion?
And Rose and her associates will be attending. I doubt there will be any issues if Kun is present, considering his favoritism for Petra. I was intending to leave Frederica here, since she gets along poorly with him. What about you, Ram?
I shall accompany you as you desire, Roswell-sama.
You say, as you desire, but it's totally your desires talking.
Emma remained a staunch supporter of Roswell's, but was far less hesitant to insist upon her own desires now. Roswell seemed to accept it without thinking it strange. The relationship of one-sided dependency looked to have changed. The atmosphere of mutual dependency around them was gone. It felt like they actually understood each other now. It was unclear whether it was beneficial to have someone around who empathized with Roswell.
What are you staring at? Say anything thoughtless and I'll mash your eyes into paste, Barasu.
Summer, in your mind, just how incessant am I exactly?
Ra made an extremely complicated expression. It wasn't because it was a tricky question. That was just her expression whenever Subaru called her Ni-sama. She did not dislike it, but it did not feel legitimate. She had yet recovered her memories of Rem. Those years of being worshipped by her little sister were still lost to the void.
It would worry me if it were only Emilia-sama and yourself leaving. But I'm sure that you'll be fine with Garfiel and Otto-kun accompanying you. Otto-kun will keep you from bumbling into any horrendously awful agreements, and Garfiel will solve the worst of problems by pulverizing them while you flee.
But I think that would really cause a lot of trouble. I'll do my best to keep it from coming to that.
Leave pressuring them to me, Emilia-tan. I'll be right on them, whether it's Anastasia-san or Julius. There's this chatty witch I know who's taught me all about people dodging important topics in conversation.
I'm not sure if that's something to brag about.
Subaru shot Emilia a thumbs up and grinned, teeth sparkling. Naturally, Emilia knew that Subaru was joking around to relax her. They had built enough trust over the past year for that much understanding at least.
Now, Beatrice, I can trust that you look after them.
Of course, in fact. You can't rest easily about any of these people were Betty not with them, I suppose.
Beatrice's pigtails bobbed as she puffed out her chest. Her adorable attitude put a smile on everyone's face. She herself looked nothing more but displeased. Regardless, this conversation over, they decided to leave for Pristella.
Gold.
Are we having some difficulties? Is Gold here?
It's Gold's line. I can just
read it over, yeah.
Ask for the Water Plumage Pavilion once you arrive. That is where Anastasia-sama awaits you.
Don't keep her waiting!
With that, Anastasia's subordinates had left Roswell Manor. He would return to Pristella first to inform Anastasia that the invitation has been accepted.
Take care.
You take care too, Garf. I'm gonna be super on edge waiting, so you better come.
Hell about you's being on edge, but I gotcha. These guys ain't got a hope without my amazing self. We'll settle this there. Get your neck ready for the rope.
Huh? Okay, I'll get it super ready.
This cute little exchange between Mimi and Garfiel had been particularly notable. Garfiel had been so wary of the two during their stay, but going by Mimi's attitude, it felt like his fears had been misplaced. Rather, it felt like Mimi was extremely affectionate when making friends. He had started calling him Garf, out of nowhere, so perhaps Anastasia's invitation wasn't really hostile.
You may have won Mimi over, but I myself shall not yield so easily.
Said Joshua, trying to remain stoic while following his cheerful bodyguard. He kept a tight grip on his arm, yanking him down and forward as she bounced ahead. His expression was dead serious, all of it. It was kind of comical. Even Subaru had fostered enough kindness over the past year not to inform him of the fact.
Joshua-kun, will you be okay? You have such a lovely outfit, but the sleeve seconds from coming off.
Please don't worry. There's no need for concern.
While Subaru could understand the poor boy's feelings, the angel in attendance could not. Emilia spoke out of sincere concern for Joshua, who could not raise his voice and instead tried to pry Mimi off, looking miserable. Mimi was exceptionally stronger than Joshua, his efforts amounting to naught.
My brother may call you his friend, but I believe he is being far too kind, which is one of his virtues. I believe it my job as his younger brother to compensate for that, so you best not expect any mercy from the Juukulius family.
What? You already stopped with the I myself thing?
Please pay attention to what I'm saying. Trying to make a fool of me. Not a very pleasant man, are you?
I'm more worried about you forgetting your place as your master's messenger. If you deride people in public, it'll probably wind up as a black mark on the Juukulius family.
Joshua's face paled, but Subaru wasn't just trying to criticize him. Subaru was far higher at risk for insulting people in public anyway. Not that Joshua would know that, but Natsuki Subaru being Natsuki Subaru had reason not to tell him.
Subaru, stop bullying younger kids. I'm so sorry, Joshua-kun. He can be like that.
No, I was truly being impolite. I apologize.
Just I? Ow! Ow! That hurts, Emilia-tan!
Subaru immediately started criticizing Joshua again, when Emilia grabbed his ear and yanked it without mercy. Joshua saw tears rise in Subaru's eyes, and, satisfied, decided to leave the conversation there. A deep breath, Joshua boarded his dragon carriage, but since lingers were pulling the vehicle rather than dragons, you would really say it had been a dog carriage which he had boarded onto. Perhaps dog races were a thing.
Might be worth it to introduce some forms of entertainment, like horse racing and stuff?
Subaru's ideas that made use of his unique knowledge from the 21st century never graduated from his imagination. Maybe he should consider utilizing his knowledge more seriously. First, he needed to judge what the pros and cons of popularizing horse racing would be, and...
What's wrong, Subaru? You look like you're thinking of something really devious.
I've got a rare flood of ideas from my unique knowledge from the 21st century. Like an explosion of Subarisms!
Oh, you thought of another new topping? I like the mayonnaise, and I like the tartar sauce too.
This time I'm thinking of something unique, in a way that the populace would never conceive.
Incidentally, the Roswell mansion carried a stockpile of tartar sauce, just like it had mayonnaise. Pretty much everyone liked it, but it failed to satisfy Subaru entirely. With all the chit-chat carried on, Joshua and Mimi got ready to leave, and their carriage begun moving. They did not sit on the coachman's seat to drive. Instead, Mimi just mounted one of the two ligers and controlled their course directly. Her white robe fluttered as she smiled cheerfully.
Okay, see you two and Garf later.
He pleasantly saw Mimi off, and waved goodbye to worry Joshua through the window too. 2 days after seeing them off, Subaru and the others left for Pristella.
Okay, it'll take us over 10 days to get there, even if we hurry. Well, we have no real need to hurry either, so let's relax and take our time.
Nobody had any objection to Otto's plan. He was the one most accustomed to traveling among them. He was probably the standard for physical resilience among the group. If they traveled at a pace that would put no strain on them, then everyone should enjoy a safe journey.
Considering the carriages is load, we'll have Frou-Frou and Pastorash-chan pull the carriage. And since we plan not to camp anywhere, we should be fine with only the bare minimum of emergency supplies.
Just sitting there in the carriage the whole time's no good for your body, Otto, bro.
If that's what you think, you're always free to leave the carriage and run, Garfiel.
Yup, that's what I'll do.
That's what you'll do?
With this little scene of unusual banter between Garfiel and Otto shocking Emilia, the journey to Pristella begun. But, having said that, the journey itself proceeded without issue. Had some trouble once they crossed borders into non-Mather's territory when passing through other lords' gates, but the issue was more or less resolved by flashing the Mathers family crest or showing Emilia's presence. This itself was liable to stir up trouble too. They came across no one plotting anything nefarious during their journey. When wild dogs or witch beasts appeared on the road, foolishly trying to attack the dragon carriage.
Perfect. Been wanting to smack some critters around.
Garfiel would violently tear through the group, scaring away the instigating animals. His perfect work as a bodyguard would actually make people sympathetic to those pitiable witch beasts. Even Garfiel, terrifying as he was, had to kill downtime by chewing on a knife he had brought, giving him a trace of Gatmo. And seeing him chew hard steel to bits was always unnerving.
This dragon isn't bad, in fact. I will concede that much, I suppose.
Narrator?
Beatrice, sitting next to Subaru, who held the reins. Perhaps it came as a surprise, but Otto was not the only one tasked with driving. It had taken a year of trying, and a dragon that knew Subaru's peculiarities was able to drive a carriage now. However, dragons in question were Parse and Otto's dragons, Frou-Frou, who were both well acquainted with Subaru. Besides them, only other dragons at Roswell Mansion kept were Rascal and Peter. Obviously, Subaru was familiar enough with them to give as far as to name them.
How about less condensation and more helping me with the reins? Petra is abounding in motherly spirit. I'm sure she'll be nice to you too, Bearco.
I'd rather not, in fact. Actually, that dragon is definitely brimming with hostility at Betty, I suppose. She doesn't consider me a friend, in fact. What are these horrendous lies about motherly spirit, I suppose?
Hey, I can't allow you bad-mouthing Patrache. I'll never let anyone insult Emilia, Rem, you, or Patrache.
You include me on your list, but still won't let me, I suppose.
Even if you're someone on this list, you're being naughty.
Beatrice tried to escape, but it was impossible to do so on the narrow platform designed for the driver. Subaru grabbed her by the scruff of the neck and drew her near, setting her on his lap as she struggled. Attempting to sentence her to tickle torture, a strand of her hair brushed out across his nose, making him sneeze dramatically. The carriage swerved.
Natsuki-san, don't let them do anything odd. If they exit the divine protection of wind evasion, we're all going to have a terrible time with the motion sickness.
Sorry! Becco was being so much fun that I just...
Try to make this Betty's fault, in fact. Subaru just went and stopped tickling my stuff.
Otto let out a big sigh watching the two as they played. Emilia giggled upon seeing it as well.
They really get along so well. Not too long ago, I never would have imagined that Subaru and Beatrice would be such good friends.
Personally, I can't believe that they were ever apart. It's almost sickly how sweet Beatrice-chan is and how doting Natsuki is.
Emilia smiled solemnly, looking like something like a mother or older sister to Otto's eyes, but Otto was not tasteless enough to point it out, or to encourage Subaru's antics.
We'll leave them to their jolly good time while we discuss something a bit more important. That is, we will discuss the goals of Anastasia's faction and how we're going to respond to them.
They're not trying to just put us in their debt.
The first of 3 years in the selection have passed, making this the final opportunity to establish definitive groundwork. Once we establish our footing here, we will secure our support base at the meeting of the Western Lords. If you ignore that the other factions had that issue resolved from the beginning, we should be about equal to them in our progress.
Where's Anastasia standing right now?
Emilia had been estranged from the exact movements of the other factions for a while, because they needed to train Emilia from scratch on how to be a politician, let her acquire the skills she needed, rather than the panic with needed information. Oswald and Otto, Internal Affairs Bureau, understood that and presented it as reasoning to focus her attention elsewhere, and now they also understood that it ought to be safe to remove some of those restrictions on this journey. So Otto nodded to Emilia and started organizing the facts in his head.
First, we will discuss the support of the candidates as of the present. Initially, Duchess Krush Karsten and Anastasia Hoshin were generally seen as the sure winner in the competition. The other 3 factors, including yours, if you'd allow me to be blunt, they're somewhat seen as space fillers.
I can't deny that. But from what you're saying...
Exactly. Common opinion has changed over this last year, because the other 3 factions, starting with yours, have made notable achievements.
Most conspicuous achievements for Emilia's camp, predictably, were the defeat of Sloth and the White Whale. Cruchet's camp had been one leading the offensive against the whale. Cruchet herself had publicly stated just how great the contribution of Natsuki Subaru, the knight, had been to the effort. The other factions had helped. Subaru had spearheaded the subsequent Sloth offensive in the blink of an eye. Both achievements drew public attention to Emilia, who had been initially discarded. Emilia also stood out negatively due to her heritage. For worse, Emilia was widely acknowledged as the topic of many gossip and rumor. Other unknown candidates, Felt and Pristella, also attracted similar attention. Stella Braille done remarkable work after inheriting land from her deceased husband. Braille, she used Gunica's unfortunate position as a nation bordering the long hostile Wallachia Empire to her advantage and instantly made allies of the neighboring territories in the confusion. A near magical stroke, she pacified Wallachia, made allies of the lords. She then revitalized lands that had been ruined by war. In such a short time frame, she had definitely shown good prospects. She also had overwhelming attitude and her looks going for her. Brother Magunica grew more and more supportive of her by the day. Meanwhile, compared to the other candidates, Felt was overshadowed by her knight, Reinhard von Astera, who had also had to deal with the territories of the Astera family. The title of Sword Saint, as overwhelmingly famous as it was not especially useful when choosing a new ruler. The attitudes of the local lords, including those of Estrella domain, had veered closer to distrust and caution. But a girl named Feld, who had overcome this poor situation quite unexpectedly, would have consulted powerful nobles who could stymie the other candidates. He assembled those who had resigned from office in commoners' mistakes. Feld was very good at picking out those with hidden aspirations or talented people who had never been given a chance. Never mind the rumors about her having royal blood. He could identify people's talents and assign them to a post, which is perhaps the most important quality in a leader. In that small trigger, the Estrella household and its surrounding territories burst into activity, while the onlooking lords started to change their tune little by little. It was still just a small spark. She was definitely carving herself a place in history. Nobody important in this nation was ignoring her.
And that's where each faction stands currently. Our faction is quite notable for its achievements, but the other two parties have a more stable foundation. Though, I believe that we could disregard that if the Great Rabbit Offensive were officially acknowledged.
Otto-kun, you're saying the same things as Subaru. But maybe this means it's safe to take a narcissistic view. And say that we're about to be in the middle.
For now at least, yeah. But there have been some changes on Duchess Karsten's front. Ones that are actually to our benefit.
To our benefit?
Yes. Duchess Krush Karsten has lost some of her luster over this year. And as if she is a different person. She used to be stern in both public and private affairs, someone that the supporters of the previous Duke Karstens couldn't help but accept.
Something had changed the quality of her politics and policies. She had become less decisive and gave off a plain soft impression. Rumors spread around that she had achieved best to serve the unwomanly role of Duchess. Her true colors had finally come through. She was apparently busy dealing with some unsatisfied subjects and lords, even calling upon the previous retired Duke's assistance.
People were certain that she would win this election, being that she had secured the first achievement with the White Whale Offensive, but it's unclear what exactly led to her downfall. Emilia-sama, be sure to keep vigilant.
I see.
Emilia lowered her eyes, full of gloom. She could not help but feel sympathetic for her rivals. But Otto found that stance dangerous and fragile. They were eventually going to oppose each other. It was disadvantageous to be unduly supportive. The past year had taught Otto that this cliche applied in both commerce and politics.
Try not to brood on it, though. More conversations like this will have to happen in the future.
Thank you. I know Otto-kun's just looking out for me.
Excellent. Now, let's finally get on to the topic of Anastasia's faction. They have nowhere to call their base in Lagunica, but they have the backing of important merchants in Kararagi. Stores that considered the idea originally are now springing up all across Lagunica, all with the backing of the Hoshin Trading Company.
But what does that mean? Maybe there's lots of new stores, but that doesn't mean lots of new support. Oh, there's more people who know her, so she's more visible?
That would be a side effect, I think. Her goal is far simpler than that. She can use far much more money. And since money is so simple, it works on anyone. There's no creature of society out there who lives in peace after economic downfall.
Making allies of merchants would mean making more friends in the world of business. And being that the economy supported society, holding economic power meant that she could attack and defend that society. It was making allies all over the place, making it nigh impossible to counter her. It was a businesswoman who prioritized her economic strength.
I believe the Anastasia's faction is the one that we should be most cautious of. And then we get an invitation from them, and it all feels like we're going to wind up in their debt. Do you understand how immeasurably troubled I am?
It's finally sunken in really deep. I'm sorry for acting so rashly.
Nothing to worry, just as long as you understand. You'll never do anything careless again, I'm sure. I'm sure, because I'm sure that you understand.
Emilia bowed her head, and Otto shook in his submission, and wringing out all the air inside his lungs. Otto's clear explanation of matters had made it very easy to understand. Emilia nodded over and over. Indeed, the world of politics was complex and tricky. She already knew that her thoughts of, "I'll do my best, let's do our best," would not secure her victory. It drizzled her that she had to pay mind to what the others were doing. She was glad that she had revealed these secrets to her. It also made far more uneasy.
Don't have to agonize over it alone.
Otto, imagining how Emilia must feel. Emilia looked up as Otto fiddled his gray hair.
Maybe the central figure, but that doesn't mean that you have to do everything yourself. You have this whole carriage with you.
This whole carriage?
Mr. Natsuki is at the reins. Beatrice-chan is on guard to make sure that he doesn't slack off. Garfiel is keeping lookout atop the carriage, and I'm the one who planned our itinerary. What you do is to thank us for all of our work, and we'll bumble our way to Pristella no matter what.
Emilia's eyes widened, comprehending what Otto had meant, and, at the same time, indirect phrasing reminded her of someone else, making her laugh.
Otto-kun, you really sound like Subaru.
What? Truly? Oh no. He must have infected me all over all this time I spent with him. No, please, no. This terrifying thought, it's just...
Hey! Otto! What are you talking about so cheerily with Emilia-tan? Emilia-tan smiles on my diet, so you better not steal any!
Otto's shoulders hitched up as the person in question butted into the conversation. Otto's reaction made Emilia smile, and Otto smiled back, looking defeated.
Come on! What's so interesting? This isn't fair! Beatrice, take over the reins. I'm busting in.
No, in fact. Stop, I suppose. I can't. It'll flip over. It's going to flip over, in fact. Look, she's going to flip it over, I suppose.
Hearing yells from the driver's seat, Otto resignedly got to his feet. A certain impatient knight was probably hitting his limit. Places and visit the dragons.
Otto-kun.
When Emilia caught Otto from behind as he prepared to move from the driver's seat, he glanced back at her, and his breath was caught. Emilia's trusting smile stabbed him through the chest.
I know I'll cause some problems, but I'll still do my best. I'm counting on you.
Yes, please do. I'll find my own enjoyment in the scraps.
That also sounded kinda like Subaru.
A bitter smile. Otto stepped over the driver's platform. Subaru and Emilia were both devious. For Otto, stricken with an illness where he felt obligated to answer to the expectations placed on him, both of them were a lethal combination. All this banter unfolded. 2 days passed from their departure. Then, Emilia's group safely arrived at the Watergate city, Stella.
And that will kick off the first chapter for this live reading. How are y'all feeling? How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
What happened there?
Yeah. So my internet literally cut out like completely, 100%. Like literally just like dropped off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened, but it got back.
I will say one thing.
It seems like in this first chapter we had a multitude of issues all hit us at once, unfortunately.
Yeah, because that one pause, I thought you weren't following along or something. I was like, "Where's Gold?
Oh, no.
What happened?"
I was like, "Oh fuck, his internet."
Like literally, as soon as the line happened, like I said the line, and then I heard like the Discord like starting to break up and being like, "Gold, did he say anything?" And then like my internet cut out. I was like, "Oh my god."
You guys got to understand too that like being in a call like this with a bunch of different people, there's bound to be some flubs that go down. So we'll just try to recover as best as we can. But Wooloo, first time narrating, it's very draining, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I know I kind of slipped on a lot of the words.
No. I'm trying to get to the point that the whole reason why we're swapping over narrators is I learned my lesson solo narrating for like 10 plus chapters with just me.
It only took him 30 chapters of reading to realise that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't a great idea to do it all by himself. Oh, he's a genius.
Now. We have a full cast now, so no harm, no foul. This was great. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm actually gonna legit just start a 10-minute timer just so that we're on track.
Yeah, we get a break.
Yeah, we get a break. Wulu can rest his voice.
Also,
what's up?
It was brought to my attention also that the chat was apparently having some difficulties listening to me.
Yeah.
Has that been like a constant throughout the entire...
Let me just address that really quick. So like we said, chat, this is a passion project. This is something that we're all doing, you know, out of our own free time just to bring you guys these chapter readings. We can't really control connectivity issues or if our mics pick us up or not during certain lines. It was coherent throughout
we are
those
recording
readings.
all of this through a Discord call, so... And a lot of us are from different places in the world.
Yes.
So, especially since Hollow connected first to this call, the server area is around the Hawaii area, which is a bit far for some of us, which is why we might be having some connectivity issues.
Yeah, if it was
that's just how it is.
Issue, it doesn't really matter. Like,
it was his mic quality. It was his mic quality.
Regardless, I'm gonna have to address that before another stream, so like that doesn't happen again. I'm not sure if it's my mic or if it's the connection.
I think it's the connection, mate. It doesn't seem like your mic.
Your input. I'm not too sure, but we can go into that after this reading is over. No problem. But yeah, no worries. You did cut out at certain points, but it wasn't so drastic that we missed part of the story, if that makes sense.
Right.
Don't worry.
Don't worry so much about it. Yeah.
I just want to, like, people were at least able to understand at least some of what I was saying, right?
This is in the chat, right?
They could, yeah. So they could still understand what you were saying. You were just slightly muffled, is all.
Right.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I can understand what you're saying, and I think your mic quality is better now.
Yeah, because I remember you would join beforehand at work, and you were saying that you had a mic back at home, so at least it's not giving reverb.
Oh, I was using my phone last time.
Yeah. I think it was just the connection and the fact that the longer you talk, sometimes cuts do happen. Even when I was narrating, and I have a pretty decent mic, I like to believe, it still cuts out. So.
Speaking of that, I've been having some financial things to take care of, but once that's all squared away, I do plan on getting a better mic also, so I think that might help.
No rush at all.
So, anyway, did we have any thoughts on that chapter?
Yeah, just good job, Wulu. Don't worry about any of that.
Right. Just I want to thank the chat for all their support. It was really fun to come in here and narrating, and to be honest, I was very nervous coming in. I'm really glad I did it also.
Well, you're still going to be here just for discussions until you got to dip out. But yeah, we can get into the episode discussion for the last 7 minutes of this. And I believe Allie's doing the next narration?
Yes. Yes, she is.
Yeah, I wasn't here, chat, for the most part when they were planning things out. I was like running back and forth. So yeah. So Allie's going to be doing the next part. And what do you guys think about this chapter? Let's briefly go into it.
I think this chapter gave, for me as an anime only, I feel like it gave the series a lot more depth, because when you're first coming into ReZero for like the first 2 seasons, it's like focused on Subaru and the character development of the people around him, but like now they're really getting into the world building, and I think that's hype.
Yes, this is a thing that I'm glad you've noticed. Yeah, Arc 5 is the arc of world building, as I like to call it. It has loads of world building, so be sure to look out for that.
We got a donation from Anime's Latest. The fact that you have Emilia's VA is so cool.
KylesMigyles, I'm coming for ya.
You guys are all doing a good job.
I love her.
Keep it up, and it's nice to see that there's other people who appreciate the story as much as I do. Yeah, thank you for all of you guys for stopping out again. Another 200 plus viewer stream, and going strong.
Yeah, I do want to point out that I really like that we figure out what the other candidates were doing.
Yeah.
Emilia Campering Part 4.
Yeah, that was exposition that was really needed, I think, because we had that year time skip, right? We needed that information of what went down with everyone else.
So what do you guys think about Pristella not being a complete bitch and actually helping out people?
He's not a complete
Actually,
bitch.
What's up, Wulu?
They were okay. I kind of wanted to like add something to this. As somebody that's only on episode 17 right now, And I'm sure everybody knows what happens in season 1, episodes 15 through 17, with Subaru just like going through complete hell and back and all that stuff. It's really like reading Subaru in this chapter is actually really interesting. Like from watching him back then, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, Subaru's a lot happier here than.
But
Yeah, and I'm not at that
like
point,
the
but
beginning of
Subaru
season
just
one.
seems a lot less selfish now. He should. I guess what I'm trying to get at is I really want to like finish up season 1 and just get to that point. You know what I mean?
Speed run.
Yeah.
You have a lot of time, to be fair. You have a lot
of development to see with Subaru yet, is what I'll say.
I really like the dynamic of all the characters together. I feel like, especially with Emilia and Otto and Garf, they didn't really get to see each other much in at least the anime. So it's kind of nice seeing that Emilia is interacting with them more, and everyone's very like happy that everyone's working well together and getting along. So I think that's super nice.
How they're acting is pretty much like how we act as cast together. We're just all pretty chummy by now, I like to think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because like knowing you guys a bit better now, it's much easier to play off you guys. But I have to say, I know this is a bit self-interested, but my favorite interactions are just the Bearcode Subaru interactions. I love them. I love them to all death. They give me the wholesome energy I need to be happy.
They're like a wholesome comedic duo, and I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
Oh,
It's
30
great.
euros from Azir with no message. Azir.
He's just flexing his money. He doesn't need a message.
All right, Azir's kicking out the recent dono from Anime Latest. I see. I'm sorry. Gotta remove that now. Good to see you back, Azir. Haven't seen you in a while, bud. Or maybe you've just been talking in chat when I haven't really been paying attention. But good to see you again. What else is there to really say? What do you guys think about Felt kind of turning around everybody's opinion about her and kind of proving the lords of the Van Estrella domain wrong?
Well, I think it's very interesting because, you know, you see her in the throne room scene and she's very much so done with everything and fed up, and she's very self-interested. And now you kind of see that maybe Reinhard maybe pacified her a bit and maybe also get her to understand the gravity behind some of her responsibilities now. It's interesting to see.
I was under the impression that Felt was like incompetent, but she's like
Felt's
competent.
incompetent?
Yeah, she's like a thief who was like
just
randomly
depends on
chosen.
how much of
like
it is like her and how much of it is like
Stephanie-
Reinhard directing her.
Stephanie is just crying right now somewhere. Our Felt VA.
Like a random thief was chosen as a candidate, and you know she's pretty much being a leader, so people are slowly changing their mind about her.
And it also says in a footnote in the chapter that we have, it says, you know, the reason why she was picked was obviously because she might be one of the kidnapped babies of the royal line of Lugunica that seems to have been wiped out. So she's the last remaining member of the royal family, supposedly.
She also has that claim of legitimacy, you could say, in favor for her.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, in a world like this, bloodlines are very important.
Well, as this chapter stated too, it kind of puts into perspective how, you know, overwhelmed Emilia is against all these candidates. Like she's
because they have all these huge strengths. Like Cruz, for instance, even though what happened to her kind of knocked her back a bit, she's so politically influential within Lugunica that she's got a huge advantage.
Does anybody know what currency that is? It's 40
I
of
was
something.
just about to look that up.
I don't. Thank you though, Yash Kushal. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for the.
It's Indian rupee.
Rupees. See, I don't know. I'm sorry. Thank you for the 40 rupees.
I'm loving the international viewers though. That's really
yeah.
cool.
I
remember seeing that we had some people from Iraq watching the other day. That was really interesting.
Well, my demographics have gone kind of crazy since we did these readings. A lot of people from Europe are tuning in. Europe and Australia are the main two right now. There's a high concentration from Japan. By high, I mean like 9%, but out of my whole channel, that's still pretty good. But yeah, it's crazy to see a bunch of people coming in. People are bringing up the fact about royal blood with Felt. If you're a novel reader, that was brought up in Arc 3. It's yet to be mentioned in Arc 5 again. Should we just go into that briefly, Wolf, I guess?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
There's
it's
a few
not
anime
really.
onlys here, so I mean.
Yeah, so it's not really mentioned in the anime,
Mhm.
and the royal family, like mentions of the royal family, are limited to literally just Roswell's explanation of the current political situation of Lagunica in the first couple episodes of Arc 2, I believe.
Mhm.
But that's about it, anime only side. But you get a bit more context in the novels. So the royal family seemingly died of some disease and have been completely wiped out, which is why Lagunica currently does not have any reigning monarch. It's under regents. It's under what would you call it? It's not regency. It's interregnum. Interregnum. Yeah, it has no monarch, so it's being ruled by a council of wise men, as they're called, which are
right, and that was
mostly
addressed in
influential old people.
Yeah,
from,
this was addressed in season 1 as well. I'm pretty sure. Well,
Yeah.
briefly, very briefly addressed.
Yeah, that I think because that's the thing. You get a lot more context when you read novels, right? You just shown.
Kyles,
what happens.
can we start from 0? This guy just joined and he said, just joined the stream, gonna start it over from 0.
No. Rewatched the last stream.
We'll start from square 1. No. 0.
Oh god.
I'm so sorry. That was so rude of me. No.
She can't do it. I bet if I did Chug Jug, she could sing it on command. Number 1 victory, Roy.
Nope. Alright, guys, next chapter, Arc 5, Chapter 5.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Allie, go ahead, take it away.
Upon their arrival, Subaru and the others were greeted by towering, mighty great walls.
Yeah, this looks exactly like the prison I expected it to.
Muttered Subaru as he poked his head out of the carriage window, Otto at the reins. Beatrice caught Subaru's muttering, her head also out the window beneath Subaru.
Joshua said it was a sightseeing spot, but Betty doubts that in fact. It looks far more depressing than relaxing, I suppose.
Agreed. I mean, I guess the bridging gates and stuff are kind of cool.
Subaru nodded in agreement to Beatrice and looked down. Their carriage was traveling across a massive stone bridge, aptly named Tigersea Bridge, which led to the front gates of Pristella. Subaru stretched slightly and looked over to the horizon, where he saw sunlight glinting on the water. To him, it looked like an ocean, but since oceans did not exist in this world, it had to be a lake or a river.
Stella is a city built upon a lake, in fact. The lands inside those walls become so flat that it forms a basin in the center, I suppose. If you envision the city as an old trap, then of course you'd expect the center to easily flood, in fact.
You mean that thing about it being a trap for some nasty witch beast? Emilia mentioned that too. Is that actually true though?
This is Betty's first time seeing this place, and Betty doesn't know what specific purpose it was built either, I suppose. But I suspect it's true now. I've seen it, in fact.
Beatrice's bluish eyes gazed at the city's gates beyond the bridge. The walls kept her from peering inside, but she was probably imagining what the city looked like. It was unclear how precisely the books in the Forbidden Library had described the world, but Beatrice's extensive knowledge had helped on more than a few occasions.
Why are you stroking Betty's head, I suppose?
Because Bearco's head is there. I would have pat you as long as time allows me to.
Utter nonsense! And patronizing! Undecided nonsense at that, in fact!
Nevertheless, Beatrice neglected to swat Subaru's hand away, and he proceeded to continue to pat her while gazing past the bridge railing at the lake. The pristine waters gave him a clear view to the bottom of the lake, with not a single piece of litter or pollution in sight. If the whole lake was like this, it was an example of incredible ethics.
Actually, I didn't notice any litter or illegally dumped industrial waste on the road here either. Probably because people don't have much stuff, but still, it's nice.
There will be a simple border check once we enter the gates, so please don't get weirdly assertive and reject the binding paperwork that they give you.
Warned Otto from the coachman's spot, having caught Subaru's muttering, to which the latter tilted his head.
Paperwork?
I I think you're usually exempted from it if you have a crest on your carriage when you're going to the capital. But absolutely everyone has to fill out paperwork to enter Pristella.
Subaru nodded, impressed, and more or less accepted it as a passport and customs check. But once again, he tilted his head at the words, binding paperwork.
Is it written on paper that makes you gas yourself? Something like doing something you're owed once you sign it? And the second you break the terms, your gate stops working or something?
That'd be really scary. There shouldn't be anything that forceful. The paperwork is just a statement that you won't do anything bad. But it means your conscience will be keeping a close eye on you.
Ah, we'd have world peace if everyone was as strict on themselves as you, Emilia-tan.
Subaru smiled wryly, aware of his own scummy personality. At Emilia's pure idealism. Either way, he understood that there was paperwork, and that it was not actually binding.
There's national laws that must be upheld, but the mayor and lord who manage the city have rather extensive authority there. There's many things about Pristella that simply differ from the kingdom's law. The paperwork will surely mention what those are, so please refrain from mocking it and actually read it.
Goddamn pain! How about you read it and tell us what it said when you're done?
You'll never mature with that attitude. It's necessary for you to learn how to at least skim paperwork because of your social position. You can't just stockpile bizarre trivia from the books you like.
It ain't bizarre trivia. It's a man's lust for the dramatic. Right, Captain?
You got it!
Garfiel balanced precariously on the carriage roof as he peeked his head over and down. Subaru nodded firmly in reply. Otto sighed, and Emilia watched happily. Beatrice shook her head in lamentation.
Subaru and Garfiel are just impossible children, in fact.
They're a nightmare to herd.
Who could guess how Beatrice's statement had resounded with him? Unfortunately for him, no one else in the carriage was capable of empathizing with his grief and exhaustion. Patrash roared, and everyone directed their attention to the front. The gates of Pristella stood directly before them. The border inspection ended with underwhelming ease. Emilia and Otto were right. The paperwork described the terms they would have to follow to enter the city, and the rules by which they needed to abide once inside. That said, every term was practically impossible to break by accident, so there was no need to pay that much conscious attention to them. All one had to do to enter the city is read the paper, sign your name, and get the officer's approval. The officers did panic a little once Emilia introduced herself, but being that Anastasia had passed through here too, they probably figured that something was going on.
I guess it's pretty big news to have two girls with the right to the throne gather in one place, huh?
There wasn't too much fuss, so I think Anastasia let them know beforehand. Or maybe it was Joshua-kun, or Mimi-chan.
Joshua feels like a possible option if you ignore his clumsiness. But I seriously doubt it was Mimi.
It did not feel like the cat girl had that kind of sensibility. But not because she was selfish or anything. How to describe it best?
Because she's cute.
Yes, because Mimi's cute.
And that was so mysteriously persuasive that it made Emilia nod in agreement. Subaru crossed his arms, finding no words that fit better. And upon saying that, for some reason, Beatrice stomped on his foot. Subaru killed his time by placating a displeased Beatrice until Otto and Garfiel finally finished their drawn-out inspection and joined the others beyond the gates.
Hey guys, what held you up?
Garfiel, I've been constantly telling him to practice his writing, and still...
Garfiel? You can't write?
I can! It's just, the captain called it avant-garde or... whatever.
Meaning his handwriting was so horrendous that the officers had been unable to read it. They must have offered to write for their illiterate client, but Garfiel's pride would not allow it.
I won't say anything against you, but you better study if you don't want this to happen again. I know you write letters to Ryuzu-san, and those ones have to be legible, right?
No, there's a joke, Captain. Me and Granny go way back. My Nana can read anything my amazing self writes, even if it's with my left hand.
Oh, you're not planning to put an effort into improving at all, are you?
Said Subaru, sighing in exhaustion, to a proud Garfiel. Garfiel's grandmother, Ryuzu, was not living with him in Roswell's mansion. She, along with 24 duplicates, had been tasked with duties in various forests in Roswell's domain. Emilia and Garfiel still held the command right for the doubles, and their orders still reached the clones from a distance. The team was trying to utilize this and have the girls serve as middlemen for communicating orders. Subaru had first proposed the idea, and Ryuzu carried the responsibility for the work. Garfiel opposed it all at first, but generally went along with it now. And so, Ryuzu and the doubles were living in Arlem Village. The plan was to go girl by girl, teaching them everything they need to know, and sending them to towns and villages once they were ready.
It's like a huge spy operation, which kind of makes it sound bad.
But he loathed the idea of simply leaving them there, hanging around without any role or purpose. Perhaps Subaru's guilt from discarding them in a previous loop had been what made the idea spring forth.
Subaru? They finished checking the baggage in the carriage, so let's go.
Emilia called Subaru out of his reverie, and he hurriedly glanced up. He gave a strained smile as she looked on with curiosity and grabbed Petra's reins. As if sensing Subaru's unease, the smart black dragon nuzzled her snout against the back of his neck. It mystified Subaru how relaxing that rough sensation was.
Thank you. For everything.
Subaru replied to her silent compassion by stroking her hard scales. Petra responded with her snout, and Subaru finally tugged the reins to set off for Pristella proper. They exited the front gate to find a river flowing between the exterior gates and the city. They crossed the stone bridge over the river, the inner gates opened, and Pristella revealed itself.
Whoa!
Subaru sighed in admiration at the sight unfolding before him. And he was not the only one reacting like this. Emilia and Beatrice, seated on either of his sides, also expressed their wonder. He had to apologize for using the word jail on this aquatic city. When Subaru had first heard about Pristella, he envisioned something like his original world's Venice. That hadn't been a mistake. The city was circular, enclosed in turn by the circular walls. Ignoring the fact that its size was that of a city, its shape was essentially that of a sports arena. The outer rim was the most elevated, elevation dropping the closer one would get to the center. Dense rows of stone buildings lined the tiers of the city, the most western-seeming architecture that Subaru had seen so far. Large canals ran through the town, with notably massive canals, or rather, waterways, dividing the circular city into 4 even sections. Subaru saw several gondolas paddling in the water, and a tingle shot down his spine at the thought of gondoliers. The Blue City, the City of Water, the Watergate City of Pristella. Each one of those names rang true. The sight brought nothing but wonder.
Amazing!
Words of admiration leaked out involuntarily, but no one in the group argued otherwise. The guardsmen at the gates smiled in satisfaction at the group's astonishment. Most likely, everyone who passed through these gates reacted exactly the same way. That reaction both fulfilled the guardsmen's office-bound obligations and was the greatest of rewards to them. Definitely was. They had sunk right into their trap.
Yeah, this is stunning. So Otto bro wasn't just spouting bullcrap.
Garfiel recovered from the shock first and rubbed the tip of his nose, but his excitement had not faded, for his cheeks remained slightly red. His masculine passion for the dramatic must have set alight by this amazing place, which certainly fell under the heading of things that are gigantic.
I've always wanted to visit this place, connected as it is to the god of merchants Hoshin, but this is stupendous. It was worth visiting regardless of Hoshin.
Otto fidgeted with his hands, looking incredibly emotional. The mention of Hoshin reminded Subaru of the name, Hoshin of the Wilderness, which was related to this land.
Hoshin's that guy. That one merchant guy from ages ago who became crazy rich from a burnt wasteland.
You're a little off, but overall correct. 400 years ago, Hoshin traveled the yet-to-be-tamed western land of Kararagi, unaided, and laid out its economic infrastructure using solely his own wits, and made a fortune with only his talent. The man's like a paragon.
Solely because it was focused on a merchant, Otto's eyes blazed with passion as he relayed the story of Hoshin. If he had built the foundations for one of the 4 great countries, the Kararagi city-state, then Subaru could agree with the legend being passed down.
Anastasia calls herself Hoshin after him too.
It's very bold of her. I doubt there's any way to more plainly state her enthusiasm and goals, but everyone alive is going to be skeptical. Though I do presently think she has achieved enough to warrant that name.
If she's seriously doing something more to warrant that name, then, well, snagging Lagunika's throne works. Just marching towards her goal.
Sincerely impressed, Subaru managed to pry himself from the beautiful scenery. He stroked Beatrice's hand and tugged Emilia's sleeve to pull them away from the mesmerizing city.
So, Anastasia's waiting for us at the Water Plumage Pavilion. Don't know where it is, but considering the person, doubt it'll be someplace cheap.
Right. I think she told the gate officers about the visit too. So it's going to be a nice place. I think Otto could have investigated more into that.
Otto nodded and hopped onto the coachman's platform. He jerked his chin, gesturing to the carriage.
I've supposed the route, so allow me to lead. We won't be able to rush since boats have higher priority than carriages in this town. I only note this because I suspect Natsuki-san still struggles with leisurely carriage rides.
Oh yeah? If it were just Patrice, I wouldn't even have to say anything. I'd just stare at her in my trembling boots, and she'd have the carriage in whatever I want, right?
Subaru boldly gazed at Petrash and winked. Petrash looked away. Somehow, it felt like she had just sighed at him. The unexpected reaction made Subaru dejected. Emilia consolingly pats his back, while Beatrice took his hand and filed him into the carriage.
And
announced Garfiel from his new, dedicated perch on the carriage's roof. Otto smiled wryly as he whipped the reins, and the carriage rolled into motion. Their pace was truly slow, so sluggish that the drop in speed from the uphill inclines couldn't feasibly explain it.
But, going off what I'm seeing out the windows, there really aren't many dragon carriages.
There aren't. And look at how all the roads that are wide enough for carriages aren't straight. They're windy, because the canals have higher priority than the streets.
Oh, you're right.
Emilia was right. Footpaths and carriage roads made winding detours around the canals, which crossed through the city. It was inconvenient, but that feeling stopped once Subaru gazed upon the canals alongside the carriage and the gondolas passing by.
Carriages have the divine protection of wind evasion, but do boats have anything? Like divine protection of no capsizing? Or divine protection of sea breeze something?
I don't really know, but I don't think the boats themselves have divine protections. But maybe the boatsmen have divine protection of lakes or divine protections of ferrying.
Though this knowledge isn't particularly widespread, water dragons have divine protections in fact. One of them protects them from the effects of water, much like those of ground dragons, I suppose.
Water dragons. Wouldn't mind seeing one. And just one.
I'm sure there's bound to be some in this city in fact.
Though she answered Subaru's question, Beatrice's reply was not proactive, what with her dislike of animals. Her strange awkwardness did not end merely with Petrash, but apparently extended to water dragons too.
I don't think hugging, say, a Leyte be that unpleasant.
Not touching animals doesn't kill me, I suppose. Betty is cuter than them in fact.
I doubt fighting an animal in match of cuteness would go anywhere. Actually, you might lose a few points if you fought on the same terms.
To Subaru's eyes, even Petrash looked a combination of cool and cute. But a different kind of cute to Emilia, Rem, and Beatrice's cute, of course. Beatrice looked on suspiciously, while Emilia jumped excitedly on the word liger, and gazed at Subaru.
You too? Do you think they'd let me touch them if I asked?
You could have asked when Mimi was at the mansion. You get weirdly considerate about things like that.
But they're riding dogs. I can't just do whatever I want with them. I've been missing the feeling of fur since Puck hasn't been around.
It seemed that even Emilia, who loved Puck like family, had been enchanted by his fur. Subaru agreed to the idea of asking, and Emilia started humming happily, while hideously tone-deaf. Listening to her shoddy humming, Subaru put his hand to his cheek and leaned on his elbows as he gazed at the cityscape. He leaned on the window frame. Beatrice gazed out the window's glass, kneeling on her seat. Subaru deliberated whether to inform her that it was bad manners to do that when...
Oh, Subaru, here's your chance in fact.
What? Whoa!
Subaru looked over to see a giant spray of water from the canal as a passing fish. Or no, it wasn't a fish. The creature had a long serpentine body, alongside stubby but present limbs. It was a water dragon. Its blue, slippery skin evoked images of snakes, but its head was clearly a dragon's. Sharp fangs crowded its mouth, and catfish whiskers extended from its snout. The ground dragon looked like a bipedal lizard, while the water dragon had more of an oriental look to it. Subaru almost wanted to call it Shenron.
But it looks kind of stuck up or unfriendly.
That's what it looks like to humans, I suppose. Water dragons are much more bothersome to domesticate than ground dragons, in fact. You must raise it from hatchling to adult before it recognizes you as its master, I suppose.
Huh, so they take time. Me and Patricia bounded the moment our eyes met.
It baffles me how she's so attracted to you, in fact.
It baffled Subaru as well. Though she was originally from Crush's faction, she had grown extremely attached to Subaru from the moment he picked her for the White Whale Offensive. Subaru believed that his choice back then, picking the highly assertive Patrash, was the correct one. There were so many times where he would have failed without her.
The visage of our Patricia abounds in refinement. Far the superior!
Subaru, how come you're suddenly talking like on?
A strange rebellion against the water dragon dancing through the canal burned with Subaru. And though the dragon could not have noticed his gaze, it turned to glance at him. The dragon poked its head out of the water and screeched. For some reason, Subaru heard the "Eyes off, interlopers" message loud and clear.
I think this asshole just insulted us. Which means it's time for...
As revenge, Subaru decided to mimic the roars of the giant black witch beast he had seen as the mansion burnt down. When a sharp, dignified roar was fired at the water's surface, stopping his enthusiasm, Patrash's roar. She had perceived her master's belligerence toward the dragon and got him revenge. Subaru did not know what she had meant with that bellow, but her voice and glare terrified the water dragon, which squeaked and slinked back underwater. Then, it sped up and carted its boat away swiftly. The boatsman panicked at the sudden increase in speed while Subaru watched on, dazed.
What just happened?
Natsuki-san, please keep Patricia-chan from doing anything too strange. I truly prefer that we didn't make a scene so shortly after arriving into the city.
Otto angrily scolded them from the driver's seat. Subaru waved at them dismissively and whistled through his fingers so that Patrash could hear him. They couldn't exactly communicate by whistling, but hopefully it let her know that he was grateful.
Water dragons are pretty cool, but Patrash is the coolest.
Ours is better than that undignified water dragon, in fact.
Beatrice begrudgingly agreed with Subaru, perhaps because he had spoken so happily. While they crossed a canal by the bridge, Subaru thought of the panoramic view of the city he had seen from the gates.
Feels like these canals split into the city... maybe into 4 or something.
They do. The great waterways in the middle of Pristella divide into 4 districts. Going clockwise from the main gates, there are District 1, District 2, District 3, and District 4.
In response to Emilia's answer to his question, Subaru snorted and hummed.
Pretty uncreative naming scheme. They could have gone for something more like East Blue. Don't you agree?
I do, Captain.
No one cares about your taste, I suppose.
Beatrice's attitude towards the happy pair was icy. Emilia smiled as she watched on and raised her finger, speaking as if she had read it in a book.
The number of districts all had different stores and occupations, and the residential areas are concentrated into Districts 2 and 3, which are the furthest from the gates. The Water Plumage Pavilion must have lots of visiting travelers, so it should be located in District 1.
Which means we should be hitting it soon. Or now.
The slow carriage came to a stop during their conversation. Apparently, they had reached the inn. Otto looped around from the driver's seat and into the carriage.
We've arrived! I'll speak with the employees to have Frufo and Patricia-chan move to the stables, so feel free to... No, actually, please wait by the entrance.
What changed your mind? Is it really that bad for us to go in first?
It is! I don't want you to encounter Anastasia-san, and I don't want to come back and find she's hooked you in.
Subaru frowned at Otto's lack of trust, but nobody could refute him considering their track record. They took their hand luggage and left the carriage, while an employee escorted Otto behind the establishment, out of sight. Subaru watched them go, stretched, and finally directed his gaze to the water plumage pavilion.
Now, just what kind of legends have we... Huh?
Subaru's jaw dropped in shock. Emilia put her finger to her cheek, tilting her head.
That building looks really funny. I don't think I've seen one like it.
Garfiel and Beatrice shared Emilia's candid thoughts, but Subaru got a different impression from the place. Of course he would. After all...
An inn? This is a ryokan!
Built of smooth wood with sliding glass doors, there were also hedges and a gravel path from the gates to the entrance, and a tiled roof, leaving no room for doubt. Right there, in the middle of such a Western-looking city, there stood an entirely out-of-place piece of architecture. This was the day on which Natsuki Subaru met the Wafu structure called the Water Plumage Pavilion. Oh, look at how surprised you guys are! I made a good choice handpicking this hotel. When a calm, cheerful voice cut into their stupefaction. Still stunned, Subaru slowly redirected his gaze, beyond the hedges to the place where someone peered over at their group. She had a white fur dress and an eye-catching fox scarf. The cold season had already passed, and the dress was a fabric thin enough to call it in season, but the scarf could be important since it was as present as ever. A petite frame and long, wavy violet hair, a pleasant smile on her charming face, and an indecipherable glint held in her aquamarine eyes. No doubt about it. This was the one who had invited them here. A direct, face-to-face welcome from Anastasia Hoshin, and... Been some time since I last seen ya. Many thanks to you coming all the way. I'm supposing the journey's worn you out, so what do you say we spend time relaxing inside and chat? Before Otto could return, she had easily taken the lead. Everyone present could feel it.
And that wraps up Chapter 5 of Arc 5. And Anastasia's finally here, boys and girls. Anna's arrived.
Hooray!
Hooray! Yay! People were also... What's up? Go ahead.
I was about to say, her real last name isn't Hoshin?
So people were bringing that up in chat. This is another cut from Arc 3. I believe it's Arc 3. Somebody correct me. That's read the web novel or light novel or whatnot. But it's basically stated that Hoshin is a borrowed last name. Like, she's not really of that bloodline, but she still uses that name.
My god.
Yeah, she has no bloodline connection to Hoshin.
Also... Oh, go ahead.
It's symbolic, her taking the name on. So, because Hoshin is like the most famous figure from the Kararagi city-states, she's basically saying that she's going to try and live up to his legacy by taking that name. Which just shows how confident she is.
I think.
Damn, I thought they were all related.
I thought this chapter I think this next chapter addresses it, but you also keep in mind, the entire layout of Pristella, the images on the stream right now, and the fact that the place that they're staying at is a ryokan right now. Are you guys familiar with what a ryokan is in this call? Or in the chat too, I guess.
We can pull up an image of it.
Yeah, a ryokan's basically like a traditional like Japanese inn. So I can pull up an image.
Yeah, the translation thing calls it traditional Japanese inn that features tatami matted rooms, communal baths, and areas for visitors to walk around in yukatas.
Now, this is why Subaru is so surprised when he first sees it.
This is not ReZero architecture at all. This is
not. He doesn't expect to see something so close to what he could see at home, for instance, in front of him, which is why he's so baffled by it being there.
So I'm going to take down Pristella. Up $5 from Sylvan. All the new introduced cast members are doing amazing. Keep up the good work, everyone. Also, when will next reading be? We're shooting for Friday, but I have to confirm with everyone here if that works for them. But we're shooting for weekend dates, basically.
Friday, yes.
Yeah. Let's take out this screenshot, and then let's pull this guy in.
It's actually not very surprising, is it? Because like,
that's
Al
huge.
was also Japanese dude as well, so
yeah.
Like, it's not surprising to be Japanese
How big is this
architecture.
image? Holy shit!
Yeah, I think it would just like explains the extent to which isekai people in this world have influence,
Real
right?
time.
If they're even affecting things like the architecture.
Right. Also, to take note, this is the third time we've heard that somebody might have been isekai'd from,
Correct.
Earth, and they're all from Japan. So that's something to take note of.
Which means that it's likely specifically from Japan, right? Is the common denominator at the moment.
I just think
Which is
it's
so cool.
yeah, I just think it's cool that they're incorporating that now. I know, like, for anime onlys especially, this is a big shock because they never bring this up until later on. I'm assuming Arc 5 is going to have it in Season 3, but it's a lot of tying up loose ends with what was missed in Arc 3 especially.
Yeah, I think this exposition, these chapters with exposition in it, will probably fill out a lot of that in the anime when it comes around to it. I think we'll do a lot of...
There's mention of like the Sekai thing before seeing this in Arc 5.
Oh, there is.
I was wondering if there is or not.
From the anime, see, like, now that I read everything, it's like all intermixed, so I can't tell you for sure from Season 1.
It's never mentioned in the anime.
No, what I was trying to say is in Arc 5, is it before this chapter, is the whole isekai thing mentioned in the web novel of Arc 5 so far?
I don't think so. I could be wrong though.
They bring it up later, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, this happened, right? As opposed to like, it's like they're like recalling, like, oh yeah, this
Yeah, then
person's an
I
isekai
definitely
person
think
rather than introducing it.
Yeah, I definitely think the way they're going to introduce the whole Japan thing in the anime is it's going to be him finding the inn, and that's like the first sign of like Japan in ReZero for the anime. That's
I
what
mean, that's probably how they're going to add context to it, right? Because
Yeah.
they've had to cut the other stuff previously.
I mean, I just think it's cool that, like, you see Pristella right here, and even the architecture of Pristella, even though it's not Japanese influence, it's still, influenced from our world, I guess you could say, in some way.
Yeah, about
it's
that.
the closest comparison you can make is Venice, right? As
Yeah.
Subaru states.
When they entered the city, it was like, oh wow, that's Venice. I'm like stuck at home because of COVID, and these guys are traveling and looking at beautiful scenery. And even in the script we're reading, you see the photo of like the city they're going in,
Look
and you're
how
like, wow, I
excited
haven't traveled in
Garfiel
years.
looks in that.
Subaru gets to explore Earth more than us right now.
Yeah.
This is the most world traveling I've done.
Also, sorry
year.
about that one little mic peek when Garf's line popped up.
And
Oh my, I didn't even like notice that until you guys pointed it out. I was like the latest person to notice out of everyone.
You're fine.
Damn.
If there was
Sorry
a
if
way
my
you could-
voice sounded dead sometimes as well. I've been trying to drink as much water as possible, but it's not helping my throat. So
Yeah. Also, can we all praise the narrator for this chapter? Very great job.
Good job, Ali.
Ali, you did a really good job.
I'm so ready
Great
for next chapter. You have no idea. I'm so ready. For no particular
You
reason.
fucking simp.
Yeah, no reason at all.
No
It's just
reason at all.
another chapter.
Let me go inform
And you were
Nugget.
giving me.
Let me go inform Nugget that she's in this chat. I think she's playing Animal Crossing. Go ahead and carry chat for a bit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, she
Yeah,
just yelled at me. She's fine.
obviously, Garfiel is like the most excited here by a long shot because this is his first time like being really outside. Like he may have been brought out, of the sanctuary at this point, but they probably haven't gone on like any, huge exhibitions around the world yet. So this
Right.
is Garfield's first time seeing truly new scenery, and it's beautiful.
Oh, damn, that like parallels real life then, because it's like I'm like stuck at home, and when I go traveling for the first time, it's like me leaving the sanctuary, huh?
I want to get. Oh my, that's so. All right, dude. You need a head pat and a hug.
I like that most, like, for basically all canon for our characters. I enjoy that.
Yeah,
Wait, aren't we all stuck at home? You guys aren't stuck at home?
No, yeah, we are. We are. Hawaii.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
exceptions, education-wise aside, yeah.
I hate doing education online, but that's besides the point. One thing I wanted to bring up though from this chapter is just like seeing the dynamic between all the characters kind of like evolve a bit more. Garfield's illiterate; he can't write. Just the banter between all of them. It's pretty funny, and we got to know what
I'm
happened.
not like that in real life, by the way.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good to
That's
know.
where the parallel stops.
What do you think about the utilization of the Ryuzu clones since it was skipped out in the anime for the end of season 2? Just the fact that they're putting them to use instead of just letting them mull around doing nothing.
Yeah, that's one of the things about season 2. I'd say adaptation-wise was kind of lost on me. I mean, to be fair, I didn't even love the inclusion of the Ryuzu clones in the web novel. I just thought it was cool. But now that they're like barely in the anime, it's just so like, why even put them in to me?
This is also does it explain the reasoning for why Subaru specifically did that in
do what
in this chapter? Like why he organized them to do that, like the Ryuzu clones to be spies?
Wasn't it like? Well, I know the answer, but I don't know if.
Yeah, I don't know if it was mentioned in this chapter specifically. I mean, that's why
I think it's fine. Whatever. It's just
okay. So
purpose.
This isn't something shown in the anime, but in the loop where Roswell kills Ram and Garfiel.
Oh, you're talking about that. Okay.
And the rabbits attack him. Subaru goes to Emilia, and we skip it back in the tomb. And we skip in the end credit scene exactly to that moment. But what's cut from the anime is that Subaru, being an apostle of greed at this point, can control the Ryuzu clones. And to get to Emilia, he basically commands all the Ryuzu clones to self-destruct into the bunnies to give himself more time to get to Emilia, which is why he isn't eaten alive.
Obviously, he still got heavily injured, though.
It really only delayed the inevitable. But Subaru feels extreme guilt for treating them like a tool during that loop, which is why he really wanted to give them a purpose.
Yeah.
So it's essentially Subaru feeling guilty and then trying to rectify it.
Someone asked in chat if Subaru is still illiterate, and I would say no. Because we can tell that, you know, physically he's been training for an entire year, and now he's capable of falling off huge heights and rolling to, you know, brace the impact. So
he's definitely been expanding his written abilities,
yes,
because I mean he already had the basic eye script down by the end of Arc 3.
Yeah, and also there was a line earlier on, I don't remember the specific line, but like someone was asking about something with the history, and then Subaru answered it this time, so it shows that he's been studying as well and knows more about the world.
Fanta also brings up a good point, the fact that he wrote love letters to Emilia in the tomb.
And he wrote that in the Gunakun eye script as well.
So because
that would be a big plot hole if it was in Japanese.
Comparing it to season 1, the whole reason why the letter was blank to the Roswell mansion was because Subaru couldn't write it, so he had Rem write it. So that's, you know, he wasn't literate at that point, but by the end of Arc 4, I'd say that he's at least able to write down eye script, but by Arc 5, I would say he's pretty well along with it.
He might have even gotten onto one of the other scripts at this point. I would assume.
It's very true.
Okay.
Ali, are you ready to go? Because you were narrating this whole time, and I know you have a lot of speaking lines.
Yeah, I'm all good.
All right, are you ready to go, Pat?
I was born ready.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go, Ryan.
You're a narrator all you ever will be.
Oh my god,
You're a narrator, Reinhardt. A narrator is all you'll ever be.
You're a narrator, Reinhardt. And a narrator is all you ever can be.
All right, let's get right in.
You're a narrator!
Okay. Chapter 6. 2 spirit knights, 2 greedy merchants, and 1 selfless angel. Contrary to everyone's expectations, Anastasia seemed to be striking a primitive blow. The atmosphere in the water plumage pavilion tensed.
Thanks for welcoming us in person. It makes us feel at ease.
Coming out to meet Emilia had certainly been calculated. While Subaru was lost in thought, a slightly confused Emilia voiced a reply, grabbing his attention. Anastasia cast a frown at Subaru, probably pondering the origins of Garfiel, who was standing next to him, and Beatrice, who was clinging to his sleeve. Subaru, having spent many days frolicking with them in the mansion, was calmed down by their presence.
The same face as always.
Her gaze left Subaru for Emilia as she murmured to herself, her light green eyes bearing a hint of ridicule. Her relationship with Emilia had changed little in the year past. A small conflict arising between them was not unexpected.
Well, she's just as cute as... No, she's even cuter than before.
Subaru, don't kid around with such a serious expression.
Hearing her response, Subaru rubbed his nose with an air of awkwardness, noting that Beatrice was paying close attention to the proceedings. The corners of Anastasia's mouth lifted in a faint smile.
Natsuki-kun, I heard that after territory's doing well.
Sorry you had to catch such unpleasant news. Thanks to your troops, we survived the aftermath. As companions, we'll mutually support each other, right?
Is that so? I'm glad you think the same way. The two of us were glad you could come. It's been a while since you've seen Julius, yes?
Anastasia clapped her hands together, taking an opportunity to tease Subaru, who immediately caught on and frowned. Emilia and Anastasia laughed simultaneously, as Subaru grew uncomfortable, thinking that neither of them understood his complex relationship with Julius. He had tried to explain it over and over to Emilia, but each attempt inevitably ended in failure.
It's a bit strange. Guess the woman's one of Emilia's enemies.
The previous silent Garfiel voiced the question, making no attempt to conceal his hostility. Subaru scratched his head in helpless embarrassment, and Anastasia's round eyes grew rounder.
Garfiel, you're not wrong, but you're putting it in a pretty extreme way. After all, weren't we invited here?
But still, won't you have to stab each other in the back one day? That's gonna sting after acting all buddy-buddy.
That's true. Garfiel's a gentle person, so I'm worried about that.
Huh? Who's gentle? What are you talking about, Emilia-sama?
As expected of him, Garfiel hurriedly tried to deflect Emilia's sarcastic words. Anastasia eyed him curiously, wondering why he seemed so embarrassed when...
Ah! Garf's here! Miss, why didn't you tell me?
The wooden door of the inn was flung open with a bang. The racket was caused by Mimi, a cat girl whose lovely face shone brightly as she noticed her audience. She flew into the room and surprised everyone by firmly grasping Garfiel's arm.
Welcome! You're tired, so Mimi will guide you to your room. That's where you'll be staying. Hey! You're not budging at all!
Oi, mate! My amazing self hasn't agreed. You're strong! What?
This way! That way! Hurry!
The petite Mimi clung to Garfiel's arm and, though he should have been strong enough to break free, he was dragged along helplessly nonetheless. Perhaps she was using a secret technique, but it was the way more likely that Garfiel did not want to distance Mimi by shaking her off. After all, despite appearances, they were supposed to be the same age. Garfiel allowed himself to be dragged away with little resistance, and Anastasia had a rare troubled look on her face, as did Emilia.
Huh? Mimi's always been lively, but even so I can't help but be surprised just now.
That's right. That's good. I thought you might have felt she left you alone.
Not at all, that's not a problem. However...
After their exchange, Anastasia's briefly softened gaze sharpened, finding himself chilled to the bone by the calm look. Subaru unconsciously moved to stand in front of Emilia.
I'd like you to tell me what kind of a child he is, the one who has attracted Mimi's attention.
The dangerous question was loaded with the quiet, burning rage of a woman would hold towards pests and surrounded by her cute daughter or little sister. It subtly conveyed that Mimi was loved, and although they arrived early, the thought of dealing with this left Subaru exhausted.
Natsuki-san, why do you suddenly have such a tired face?
At that moment, Otto, who had returned from securing the ground dragons and the carriage, found Subaru in an exhausted state and joined their gathering at the entrance of the inn. Pristella's famed hotel, the Water Plumage Pavilion, was tiled with wooden floorboards resembling tatami mats. This place was clearly geared towards exhausted pedestrians like Subaru, who immediately seated himself on a cushion.
If you're that obsessed with me, I might get in over my head.
What are you babbling about all of a sudden, fact? Why are you so restless, I suppose?
Beatrice calmly took a seat next to him, in front of a table, but Emilia and others seemed puzzled at the motion of sitting directly on the floor. The long wooden desk and the large hall were all reminiscent of a Japanese-style inn, excluding the lack of an actual tatami floor. However, a true expert like Subaru found some reasons to take away some points.
For example, this place lacks a sliding door and a paper door, and unfortunately, the employees aren't dressed in kimonos. It's poor taste to resemble ryokan on the outside, but not faithfully reduce the atmosphere.
Ultimately, Subaru could not shake away the uncomfortable feeling that the setting was straight out of a fantasy in spite of the employees' clothing and hospitality.
So, my grade totals to 70 points. The place is just barely acceptable. But what's good is good, and that's how I'll judge it. I hope you will work hard to improve in the future.
What are you talking about, in fact?
It's kind of a cheap-spirited and light-hearted kind of fun. It relieves my frustration. So, I'll be fine, even if you do let go of my hand.
Just to be sure, I'll hold it for a little while longer, I suppose.
The grip on Subaru's left hand slightly strengthened, and he said no more, instead turning to face Emilia on his right. Emilia, who had been examining the strange surroundings, noticed his gaze.
Oh, it's so amazing, isn't it? It's only a little strange from the outside, but I feel really odd as soon as I enter it, sitting on the floor and taking off my shoes.
I didn't have a bed in my bedroom. I had a futon on the floor. I'd be surprised if this place doesn't have any. Would the employees let me have one?
What an unusual and unnecessary proposition. Or rather, Natsuki-san, are you familiar with Kararagi-style customs?
Otto, sitting opposite Beatrice, joined the conversation between Subaru and Emilia. The phrase Kaguragi style caught Subaru's attention, causing him to frown.
Kararagi style? Is this building a product of it?
That's right. These Wafu architectural styles are designs taken from Kararagi, although their use isn't as widespread here. And Kararagi itself, designs much akin to the Water Plumage Pavilion's own, are considered traditional.
So why is this hotel in that style? Is it a diplomacy thing?
This Wafu architecture was doubtlessly of Japanese design. Subaru wanted to confirm his suspicions on why that was. And as if to supplement Subaru's thoughts, Otto raised a finger and spoke.
That would be because of Pristella's history itself. Hoshin of the Wilderness was responsible for its construction. I trust you've heard of him, right?
Really? I've heard a bit about this Hoshin of the Wilderness.
Despite being born in such a dark age, he managed so many achievements. Even calling him a sage wouldn't be a stretch. However, it was because of how dazzling he was that disputes ended up happening in the first place.
Otto's story took place just over 100 years ago, when Pristella had been split between Ligunia and Kararagi cultures. Pristella was geographically Ligunican, but its founder Hoshin considered himself and was considered by the world as a native of Karagarian. Lugania disliked the culture of Gari and had tried to eradicate all traces of its culture, but the locals took offense and protested, which led to several territories disputes between Ligunica and Karagari. Eventually, diplomatic relations deteriorated to the point where both countries had been on the verge of cutting off their relationship.
Fortunately, this didn't last. Gradually, regulations became more relaxed and Ligunica and Kararagi mended their relations. During that period, import of Kararagi's customs slowed down. It was probably due to this ordeal that Ligunica felt secure in letting its security measures become more lax.
In any case, it's good that the problem was solved. So, Kararagi customs can be traced back to Hoshin.
It seems that way. Hoshin was a person with innovative ideas from the start. His influences on ideology, technology, and legislation were immense.
I see.
Subaru drew his hand to his chin. He had received the answer he was looking for. Otto's story confirmed that Kararagi's founder father, Hoshin of the Wilderness, had the same identity as Subaru and Al, a person summoned from a different world. Subaru now knew of 3 people who had been summoned into another world, but the timings were all off. Hoshin from 400 years ago, Al from 20 years ago, and himself from 1 year ago. Subaru did not understand the time gap, or why he had been chosen, and it was meaningless for him to speculate wildly. But he certainly was not alone. Just knowing that granted Subaru's heart some small salvation.
It would appear that everyone's enjoying this, Ryokan?
A tin sliding door made of wood slid open quietly, and Anastasia entered with perfect timing, stood at the other side with a smile, and standing next to her.
Long time no see, Emilia-sama. I sincerely apologize for being late. I should have been the first to welcome you.
A man with an apologetic face and a sweet, soft-spoken voice. Just from hearing it, many women would assume it to be the voice of an angel, and an amusing pipe dream, but the voice did have the necessary colour, beauty, and strength. This was the voice of the finest of knights, Julius Juukulius, which existed solely to vex others' hearts by simply existing. At least, that was how it felt to Subaru.
It's been a while, Julius. You look like you're doing well.
I am grateful for your consideration. Likewise, Emilia-sama's kindness and beauty are ever the more polished. It's as if the shade of your gaze alone strengthens this kingdom, while the rest of the world suffers a loss.
Subaru found his speech, as always, pretentious and disgusting. Julius turned his gaze from Emilia to Subaru.
It's been a while since we met face to face. You seem lively as ever, Natsuki Subaru Dono.
Huh! Stop with your phony attitude. It sends shivers down my spine. Subaru Dono my arse. You're so transparent.
It's a well-known fact that you are officially recognized as Emilia-sama's knight. Your former disrespect of the position should now be disregarded by both of us. First and foremost, as a knight, are you trying to behave accordingly?
Watching Julius's virtuous attitude, Subaru scowled.
Yeah, I'm her knight now. No one thought I could do it, but here I am.
I see. Although your position has changed, your attitude has not. In that case, I will make do without the courtesy.
Julius dropped his formal attitude and gave a slight smile before approaching and looking down toward Subaru, who was sitting on the floor.
Then, once again, long time no see, Natsuki Subaru. Have you been working hard every day to be an honorable knight?
Do you even need to ask? After all, I was beaten horribly by someone who thought I was dishonorable or whatever.
It seems my reputation is being attacked. I recall it being an honorable duel.
Don't oversimplify that, you bastard!
However, the one at fault had been Subaru, and even if he tried to say otherwise, it would only make himself look worse. So Subaru, rather than futilely defend himself, insulted Julius in a light exchange of banter. Seeing this, Julius narrowed his eyes as if to say,
It seems that your shortcoming had been rectified somewhat. If you learn to see things with a knight's perspective, you will go far. Emilia-sama and Roswell-sama have an eye for potential, it seems. Even so.
Huh?
After praising Subaru, Julius looked around until his yellow eyes stopped on Beatrice, who met his gaze steadily with her own pale blue eyes.
What is it? You shouldn't stare too hard at a lady, I suppose.
That was terribly rude of me. I did not expect that a high-level spirit like you would be present here.
Because Betty is Subaru's partner, it is natural that I appear here. I am on a completely different level than the quasi-spirits who you've brought in. I wonder if you're afraid of me, in fact.
Beatrice stood with her hands on Subaru's shoulders and her chest puffed up. That grumpy attitude was based on Julius's attitude towards Subaru, who was inferior to Julius in every way except one. But we're spirit knights, but Subaru's contracted spirit was of a higher grade. Julius was accompanied by his 6 quasi-spirits, one for each of the 6 attributes. Great spirits were stronger than quasi-spirits, who in turn were stronger than micro-spirits. Taking that into consideration, it could be said that Subaru and Beatrice were the stronger team. However,
if you're comparing actual ability, we have so many faults and are such a waste of potential. We can't even compare to his quasi-spirits.
If he does not stop disrespecting Subaru, I will tell you what will happen if you disdain Betty's partner. Even if you are a handsome young man who causes Betty heart to waver, I suppose.
A handsome man who causes your heart to waver?
that was hardly what Subaru had wanted to hear, but it was Julius himself, a possible cause of the crack in the relationship, who explained the reason.
Do not misunderstand. Your spirit is not going to betray you. Her instinct is merely being shaken by my divine protection.
Your protection? Seriously? You also have one? What kind of protection?
The protection I have is the divine protection of gathering spirits. Simply speaking, it is a kind of divine protection that garners the favor of spirits. I also have a contract with quasi-spirits of 6 attributes. Only with the power of that protection am I able to maintain them.
Betty will not lose! Subaru is better than you! I suppose!
Thank you! Please don't hurt me any further!
Although the bond of trust between Subaru and Beatrice was unbreakable, he was still disappointed at her lack of a firm response. Whenever Subaru faced Julius, he would, without fail, become worked up over any of his own shortcomings. That had been the main reason for his former hatred of Julius.
As usual, our knight's paying attention to Natsuki-kun.
Not at all. I am merely discussing the attitude of a knight as his senior. One's view of the knights of the kingdom of Agunica may be appraised from his behavior.
Well, Natsuki-kun already has a reputation as a knight, doesn't he? You're really dishonest, Julius.
In response to Anastasia's teasing, Julius lowered his head and nodded silently. Anastasia probably would have won anyway, only to be smug about it later. Their motions had that air of familiarity. Beatrice patted Subaru's left shoulder, while Emilia his right.
Don't be too worried, in fact. Looks aren't everything, I suppose.
I'm glad that Subaru and Julius are getting along. I'd be happy if you two became good friends.
Thank you for this mood, where it'd be hard to say thank you.
How would other people view this? All Subaru could receive from them was unhelpful comfort. He scratched his cheek with frustration as Anastasia took a seat across from him.
Come to think of it, why only the two of you here? Mimi and Garfiel. Are probably on a date, but...
It's like you said, Mimi's with the blonde child right now. Hitaro adores his sister and is probably keeping an eye on them, and Tivy is probably keeping an eye on Hitaro. That's why they're not with me at the moment.
Did Ricardo not come? I know that the kitten triplets are pretty strong, but isn't it comforting to have a full-grown knight around?
It was odd that the triplets were here, but Ricardo, that large kobold that betrayed one's expectations for his race and who usually handled their antics, was missing, as was Julius' brother Joshua.
Unfortunately, we're not in Pristella just for fun. Ricardo and my brother Joshua have business elsewhere. You should have met him by now, yes?
Yeah, and he's a lot like you. If his frame was a little steadier, he could play you perfectly. Actually, he should do that anyway. You can leave now.
I'll keep your interesting opinion in mind, but that would be difficult for Joshua. He is not a child well suited for excessive travel. Frustratingly, I hold several concerns about him, as his older brother, of course.
To Subaru's annoyance, Julius took him seriously and began worrying about Joshua. Otto interrupted Subaru's awkward silence by clearing his throat.
I don't mind this casual atmosphere, but now that everyone's here, could we all give introductions?
I'd like introductions too, since the only people here I really know are Emilia-san and Natsuki-kun. I especially want to hear more about this competent-looking officer and that powerful Great Spirit-chan.
Oi oi, it's really not like you to be lacking information, Anastasia-san. Is someone missing your reports?
I can imagine why you'd have that impression, but I think it would be best if we don't get into whose information is accurate at all.
Subaru stuck out his tongue and tried to look cute, as the so-called competent-looking Internal Affairs Minister held his head in his hands, making noises. Dodging a question by the competent-seeming officer, she gave a nod to Julius.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. I am Julius Juukulius of the Royal Knights of the Kingdom of Lagunica, although presently I am merely serving as Anastasia-sama's knight.
Julius gave Otto a slight bow, who nodded in response to his elegant gesture. Julius then moved on to an introduction of his master, Anastasia.
You are in the presence of one of the candidates for ruler of the Kingdom of Lagunica, Anastasia Hoshin, the gifted businesswoman who runs Kawaragi's Hoshin Trading Company.
Right, yes.
Don't just bow to an introduction!
It was a mistake. The momentum was overwhelming, okay?
Subaru gave the back of Otto's head a whack, as Anastasia watched, pleased with Julius's introduction.
Don't be intimidated by titles. Our Emilia Tan is a wonderful candidate for the same throne, and she won't lose to Anastasia!
That's right. I'm also a candidate, so I'll do my best.
Oh, you're so cute! I can't help but say EMT for the first time in a while!
I'm somewhat troubled that I find your antics calming.
Seeing their typical, pointless banter, Otto regained his composure and faced the opposing camp.
Thank you for your detailed introduction. I'm slightly late in saying this, but I am Otto Suwen, Emilia-sama's Minister of Eternal Affairs. Yes, thanks to certain circumstances caused by a certain someone, the Minister of Internal Affairs is indeed what I am.
There seems to be bitterness about that decision.
Originally, I was just going to be a simple merchant, but now what has become of me?
Although his voice echoed with lament, Subaru stood firm, refusing to give Otto the opportunity to escape. Anastasia stuck her tongue out in a show of sympathy for Otto. Next, everyone turned to Beatrice. Seeing their gazes, she presented her small frame proudly and squarely, then declared,
Betty is the Great Spirit Beatrice, I suppose. I am Subaru's contracted spirit, I suppose. As you can see, I rank highly both as a spirit and in cuteness, in fact. I would appreciate some delicious tea and a sweet snack, I suppose.
Maintain dignity until the end!
It would always be in Beatrice's nature to be a mascot character. Subaru pulled her into his lap and began stroking her hair while she glared, displeased.
Well, that's why she's a spirit in contract with me. Oh, it's funny that both of us have the same part as the butt of all the jokes, but...
I did believe you had good compatibility with spirits, so I would not call this unexpected, but I did not imagine a contract with a great spirit like Beatrice-sama would resemble this.
Don't praise my Bearco too much. She's just like her family. Anything nice will just go to her head.
I'm declaring my displeasure with that rough treatment, in fact.
Beatrice gave him a look suggesting that she had barely accepted him, and Subaru tapped her cheeks in response, now that things had calmed down.
Well, the introductions are over, and the atmosphere seems to have calmed down for the time being, so let's talk business, yes?
As Emilia's Minister of Internal Affairs, it was Otto's role to take the lead in conversations like this and prevent them from being derailed. Anastasia answered while fiddling with her white fox fur scarf.
Well, it's our job as the host to entertain our guests. Feel free to do whatever you'd like.
Well then, first of all, what are your reasons for inviting us here in the first place?
Don't worry, you don't need to be so guarded. I'm not planning anything. A year's passed since the royal selection started, and we haven't had any opportunities to see each other as of late, so I thought I'd just set one up.
Most people would be easily misled by your gentle demeanor, but Otto was a veteran at negotiating. The conversation had turned into a battle between merchants.
Taking our situation into consideration, we're present here because you lured us with bait. It's only natural that we would be cautious.
Well, we did invite you here for a reason. There are souvenirs in Pristella that you'd want, right? Think of it as a gift.
How did you know which gift we would want?
It's sorta a company secret, Natsuki-kun. We'll just say that I'm an inquisitive gal and leave it at that.
Anastasia covered her mouth while laughing. It would be a stretch to say she was making fun of Subaru's frustration, but that was how it felt to him. Anger off his angst, Beatrice could not help but sigh, while Subaru wondered how Anastasia learned of their circumstances.
It's not something I was hiding. So it was inevitable for the information to leak.
Emilia's frank admission assured a part of Subaru's worries, and Anastasia blinked in Emilia's direction, who responded by tilting her head.
From this point onward, I think it would be better if everyone appreciated what Anastasia's done, instead of being suspicious of her.
Responding to your enemy in such a well-intentioned way. Besides, I'm not helping you purely for your benefit, Emilia-san.
But thanks to you, I have a way to find what I've been looking for. Thank you. I don't know how I can repay you, but I truly do thank you.
Anastasia's eyes widened at Emilia's smiling response. To her surprise, Julius, seated next to her, softened his gaze, earning himself a glare.
Is something strange, Julius?
HollowGraphic?
Oh, I was muted. I'm sorry. I just said my
Julius?
Sorry. My bad. No, it is merely that your surprise expression is so rare. I think that is just as beautiful as your natural, unaffected face.
Trying to escape with flattery. Well, I still appreciate those sweet words.
With the help of Julius's words, Anastasia shook off her surprise and regained her usual tone. Then she fixed a sharpened gaze on a curious Emilia.
Emilia-san, it's been
I'm lacking in many areas, and causing everyone so much trouble. So I'm trying hard to catch up as soon as I...
One correction. Your greatest disadvantage ain't that. It's that you resemble the terrifying witch from those stories.
Anastasia exhaled deeply and smiled, causing Emilia to stiffen in shock at her sudden change in attitude. Disregarding her, Anastasia turned to Subaru and Otto.
What about you two? Will you continue to support her? If you do, her reputation will affect your own.
I will, and I'll do my best to, because it's my policy to praise and support her no matter what.
And because of that, most of the burden lands onto me. Funnily enough, I have no way out of it either.
Subaru throwing a thumbs up, Otto glaring with a bitter gaze. Seeing their conflicting attitudes, Anastasia readjusted her scarf.
Well, it's fine. You surely understand the value of gratitude, after all.
Gratitude, huh? Well, gratitude is great. You don't have to keep it in the inventory, and there's no deadline attached to it.
Yep, isn't that right? And most importantly...
Otto's words matched Anastasia's as the two each revealed the face of a merchant.
You don't have to put a price tag
on it.
They spoke unanimously. Anastasia clapped her hands as Otto dropped his shoulders. It seemed that it was an established saying. Their perspectives on gratitude were chillingly identical.
Now, back to what Emilia-san needs. Colorless magical ore, one of the highest possible grade of purity.
Yes, that's right. Can you tell me what you know?
On the way to Pristella, Emilia, having consciously realized that she had been acting out of selfishness, had felt guilty and had not intended to involve Subaru and Otto and the others. Nevertheless, with the opportunity right in front of her, she of course needed to act. She was closer than ever to seeing her precious family again. As Emilia held her breath for a while, Anastasia replied,
The best supplier of high-density ore is Muse Company. The person responsible for it currently resides in this town, Kiritaka Muse, a man whose heart was stolen by a songstress.
And that, everybody, was the end of Chapter 6. I am HollowGraphic.
Yes, and HollowGraphic didn't unmute to say his line. Christ.
It's just like Julius to be a cock-up, isn't it?
Would you like an honorable duel part 2, Subaru?
Fuck, please, no!
Was that a challenge I heard, I suppose?
It was, in fact.
Maybe with Bearco this time I can win.
Maybe let's
Guys,
not fight.
we really can't afford to fight right now.
Oh, you shut the fuck up!
Let's not ruin our chances here, everyone.
Now, you could possibly take out a...
You're not even in this
Why is the
fucking
clown
scene. Get
here?
outta
White is the fucking clown
I was
here.
told to stay away from strangers, and you certainly fit that description.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I
chapter
think me and you can agree
Roleplay
for one.
over.
Roleplay over. Azir, welcome to the Witches of Wrath. Thanks for coming, my man. Welcome.
It's when we get a little too into character that happens.
wait till we play fucking Jackbox in character. That'll be fun.
Oh god. Oh boy.
I
In
will
character,
say,
huh?
I really enjoyed doing that chapter because I don't know why, but it's just so much fun interacting with Julius as Subaru.
Holy shit.
It really is.
First off, Allie, great job as Anna. Great job.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you so
good job.
much.
I can't clap because I have push to talk on, but just imagine it, okay?
I'll do it
Yay!
Clap, 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 clap.
Clap, 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 clap.
for you.
Also, everyone, we're almost at 300 likes, so 6 more likes and we'll get
Wink,
there.
wink.
You
Like
have all
the
this time
fucking
to
video,
watch us
or I'm
and
gonna
not one
decapitate
like.
you.
Otto, you drunk again?
As a
No.
knight, like the video, please. I need likes. Thanks.
I don't think Julius would do that. That's out of character.
Anastasia teaches him.
The Horse
well.
and Company.
Yeah. Since we're at the very end, I know there's something that Kanda and Super wanted plugged. So if you guys want to go ahead and voice what you guys have been doing, possibly give a little
Yes.
teaser for it.
Yes,
And then I don't know if I'm
so,
posting this on my channel or what you want me to do with it. So.
Yes, you're going to be posting it on your channel. So,
Cool.
Hollow is going to be premiering something tomorrow, something very
Wait,
special. I know you guys in the chat are. Oh, and I'm totally not taking advantage and taking control of Hollow right now and setting up the rules. I'm not doing that at all. Don't worry, I'm the internal affairs
Just
minister
wait till
anyway.
if you were a spirit, it'd be a whole different story.
Yeah, but anyway, me and lovely Garf over here have been working on a fan dub of sorts. People were mentioning break time earlier. It might have something to do with that. So if you guys like our Garf and Otto, then please check it out. You won't be disappointed.
People were surprised with the Garfiel line readings that we did earlier.
Yeah, people are really loving your line delivery, Super.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Pudgy.
Oh god. Woo! Wolf is going to suffer in the next reason coming up. Oh, you're so right! And I fucking hate that you're right.
Mate.
Mate.
I'm gonna have to practice all week,
We
aren't I?
have a light
Fuck.
novel image unlocked next reading, but let's let everybody experience the wait that they've been experiencing for ReZero episodes, because we'll be back in a week. So yeah.
Ha ha! How does it feel?
Yeah, and like I said, we have more characters to debut as well. This isn't even close to our full cast.
Nope. not
How
at
many
all.
chapters are we reading? 3 again?
Yeah, 3-ish. It depends on the count, the word count.
Yeah, it
Okay.
depends because it varies through word
Phantom
count.
made splits for us to go along. And once again, if you guys want a recap video on chapters 1 through 6, it's already on my channel. I posted it like a month ago. So go ahead and watch that to get caught up with everything. And don't look at 7 to 11 yet, because we're not there yet.
Nope, that video is unviewable. You cannot. You think you can, but you
You
can't.
can't click on
You'll
it.
die.
You'll die.
Next week, Wolf sings as blank. No!
Very true.
True.
So,
yeah.
what do you fellow anime onlys think about Anastasia kind of taking the reins of the conversation and Loki cucking Otto? Like, Otto was trying to get the conversation going, and Anna's like, nope.
Absolutely what I expected of her.
Wow,
Typical Anastasia.
Yeah, something to note is her reaction to Emilia's overwhelming kindness. I think not only is this just her like being surprised that anyone would be this nice after everything, I think it shows that she has like some sort of new level of fondness or at least like respect for her as a person. I think she may have seen something more in her. Because as we all know in the anime and, you know, in the Royal Selection episode, I believe that was episode 12 of season 1, she and Priscilla were easily the most mean to Emilia in the throne room.
I mean, yeah, her opinion is also likely affected by Subaru, right? Because of Subaru. Subaru is her knight, right? In a sense, he represents her. So what he did with the white whale, especially because it's so important to merchants, has definitely affected her opinion, I think.
Right.
I'm gonna choose to avoid the suggestion of playing Among Us as the cast with you guys.
Among Us, Among Us.
Oh yeah, we got past like 300 likes right after it ended. Thank you guys so much.
Stop talking about Among Us! I'm tired of hearing it!
Oh wait. What's wrong with Among Us? I was actually thinking of suggesting the exact same thing.
Oh, my friend, the Discord sending memes? On
You are
TikTok,
too
Oh
fucking
god,
this
he's
world.
copy pastaing.
I actually don't know why are we all hating on Among Us here?
Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite.
Play Fortnite today.
It's a meme. Don't worry about it.
Take
Garth.
me to Moisey
Okay,
Meyer,
okay.
but not
But
Loot
not
Lake.
Loot Lake.
I'd really
I'd
like
really
to
love to.
chug jug with you.
Chug chug with you.
We can
We
be
can
pro
be
Fortnite
Fortnite
nights.
Fortnite gamers.
Okay, I
play
fucking sung it. Can you guys do your goddamn paperwork now?
I think I'd rather play Fortnite. Thanks, Otto.
This is why we're waiting a week to do the next reading.
We're losing our sanity. We're going
we
too
are.
deep into
We're
this.
losing our sanity. Yeah, 200 people stayed for this entire thing. A lot of interaction in chat. Not a lot of
My
spoilers.
brain is trembling.
Very surprised from you guys. Not a whole lot of spoilers.
A lot of what? Oh, right.
Cedric was like immersed in this the whole time. He stayed for the whole stream. That's like the biggest form of praise right now. Cedric's been here.
W.
It's a big W.
Cedric.
Cedric and Pablo were here too. I don't know if Pablo's still here. But yeah, people are catching on with the series. What did you come into? You just missed the entire reading.
That is an ooh.
Slowpoke ass. Also, with that noted, I actually have to go to
Bye-bye.
college, so thank you guys so much for tuning in, and all the nice comments about Otto, and all the nice comments about all the voice actors in general. You really make us more and more motivated to do this, so thank you all.
Bye,
Very
Kanda.
true.
Bye, Kanda.
Thanks for your help, Kanda. Have a nice day,
Hey
man.
guys.
Enjoy the paperwork at college.
Quick, their internal affairs minister is gone. Let's fuck them over.
I knew Julius was a cunt!
Hey Kiki, can you say the line that you posted in a general chat?
Yes.
Oh god, no. I will not have this, I suppose.
Oh, the Julius one? Okay.
Yeah.
Julius's divine protection makes spirits fall for him? He's mad sus, I suppose.
What does that even mean?
It means everything.
I don't deserve this.
I'm glad that Bearco understands that Julius is a sus bastard.
I just abduct the spirits. I don't even have them contract with me. It's
What
just-
the fuck? I knew it.
Have to vote anyone off? I don't think
Oh
that's
my
very nice.
Oh my god.
So, how much do I need to convince you guys to kill off Julius?
Number 1 victory royale. Yeah.
Yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah,
is
that's
out to
enough. Get him off the
down.
fucking ship now.
It was a great reading. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I guess we could do like a 15-minute thing with you guys if you want to ask us anything, I guess, and then we can head out. Q&A time.
Okay.
Yeah. Good job on the
Oh.
music. Yeah, can we get a hand for Jace for the music choice for this stream?
Yes,
Yay,
thank you,
Jace.
Jace.
Very immersive.
It's really hard. It's a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Cause like I can't queue too far ahead because I don't remember exactly what's happening, so I have to like read while I'm through, and I have to make sure. But it's really fun though. So thanks for letting me do this.
Yeah, I'm
Yo,
glad
there are a
that
lot
you
of
liked it.
moments where you like stopped the music at like just the
Good
right time, and it
times,
was very
yes.
noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could keep on like hearing it change, so it's a lot easier to get into character because of the atmosphere.
I actually
Oh
was
yeah,
singing in the
I do want to
background.
apologize for like the sudden jumps because the music bot I can't do fades,
No, you're fine.
and
You're
if I
fine.
have to skip a song, it just
You're doing the best you can, I think.
I have
Yeah.
a shite Mac, so I work with what I got.
Oh, I see Julius is picking up some Subarisms as well, huh?
I want to die.
Subaru.
That was my goal.
What?
No, don't do that.
Subaru forgets the second
supposed to
trial
be
where
friends.
Julius is crying over him, dying.
Nah, he was just being gay in that scene. It's all cool.
One-way ticket to being fucking
Cancelled.
cancelled.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with being gay, apart from when it's Julius.
Will
Everything's wrong
WolfClaw
when it's
upload his
Julius.
next video before we finish Arc 5?
Yes! Yes, he will! I swear! I'm in the last couple of weeks of college now, so...
Who gave Subaru
yeah.
a worse beating, Rem or Julius? I mean, Rem and Julius are in this call, and I'd say Rem.
Well, Rem gave me
Well,
PTSD, Julius gave me PTSD, but if you think about it,
survived
Rem's
Julius.
a waifu, so I think Julius was worse.
You're mad,
You
bro.
just want to say
You're
that
just
Julius
mad,
was
bro.
worse.
You're mad,
Hold on
bro.
a second here.
Stay
Oh,
mad.
because I got
Rem is
ratioed by you,
everything.
you cunt.
Reinhard, could you back me up that it was a friendly duel?
Oh, it was definitely a friendly duel.
Reinhard, don't side with him!
He's my friend. Of course I'd side with him.
But you're my friend too!
Have I played
Now
Hollow
you're making
Knight?
things complicated.
No, I haven't played Hollow Knight. Ram killed Subaru? False. Ram killed Subaru in that forest loop.
Well done, you've gotten it correct, Hollow. Do you want a medal?
Ram.
Literally IRL Julius. Yes, Ram Kyles. Ram. Yes.
Yeah. Do you say anything else other than Rem in that state?
Ram.
Oh, who just popped on in? Oh, it's Purple. What's up, man?
Hi, Purple.
When's the next video, Wolf? Well, after you so kindly asked, what I will say is that it should be up in the next couple of days. I'm literally finishing up the script. I was going to edit it, but I think I'm just going to get it out at this point, so it'll probably just be a background image. That's about it.
I will edit it for you, deadass.
But that's wasting your time, mate. I'm good.
It gets you to post, so I don't care.
Fuck, you're right.
Get ratioed, idiot.
Get ready.
Subaru, can you come here for a moment? I have something to tell you.
I suppose.
Well, if you let me get close enough, I'm going to shove my foot up your ass.
Get
so
ratioed,
sure.
idiot.
Oh, fuck you! Come here!
I don't think Subaru could fight off Julius. I'm sorry.
No! But it's the idea that counts,
Reinhardt
okay?
would just
I'm
be
trying.
like having a smile on his face, and Subaru would be trying to flail on him. And Reinhardt would just be like slowly turning around and moving out of the way.
Subaru's like, I remember this moment. Shamak!
Doesn't do shit with Ryan or Julius.
And then he's just like, wait, fuck, it doesn't work.
It's like a fucking party trick, like what Aqua does in Konosuba with fucking the blessing of water shit or whatever she does.
He just fucking waves away Shamak. Well, I mean, Shamak is
Al
so
Shamak,
shy.
I suppose.
Al Shamak.
Yes, Bearco! Coming in clutch!
Oh god. Kyles, don't Kyles. Kyles. We can be cool. Oh, do I mute her or do I not?
No.
That's censorship.
That is censorship.
We have so
She's allowed
much
to be.
give
She's
them.
allowed to be silly by herself.
Wolf's
Thank
YouTube link
you.
in the description doesn't work. Really? Really?
Good. This is good.
I'll change it. Don't worry. I'll change it after this is over with the vlog. I'm gonna timestamp everything again. $5 from the professional sleeping bag. Great stream, guys. Can't wait for the next one. You're gonna have to wait a week.
$5?
You have
Oh my god!
Not five. Oh wait, no. Anna has to do it. Anna has.
Anna,
Yes.
please.
Oh, yes.
The $5 thing. Yeah.
Donate to the Hoshin Company!
There you go.
It's good to have a mascot.
I thought I was a mascot, but okay.
Julius, you're a pretty shit mascot.
Betty's the mascot, I suppose.
In fact,
Bearco is so cute. She could be the mascot for anything.
Kyle's go off. Don't encourage.
No.
Yay!
Amelia
Wait till they
is
see
a
what we've
gamer
made.
girl.
Imagine.
Wait till you see it.
Imagine. Oh, it's gonna take a while. Let me tell you, that's gonna
Damn.
take a while. I will say, whenever Emilia rapping Godzilla, we can put the meme, the literal meme, with her talking
do.
fast. Can do. I need to donate more Anastasia professional sleeping bag is sick.
Oh, Cedric's link doesn't work either.
None of
Hold
them
on.
work? No shit. Really? Let me fix that real quick before we end stream. Am I just incompetent? Probably.
Hello. You've only come to this conclusion right now?
I hate you.
I love you too.
I'm assuming Gear wants me to link his main channel. Oh, the first thing that pops up is his NSFW Twitter account.
Perfect.
Here we go. Number 1, Victor.
Yeah, Mizu's link doesn't work either.
I don't think any of them do. Well, Mizu's not even here, so I'll delete
Well,
his.
yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah. WolfClaw, when are you gonna upload, my guy?
I've already said, haven't I? My guy.
Thank you, my guy. Let me change your link, my guy.
Love you too, baby.
Oh, so that's okay. I understand what it did now. Okay, I used my old layout to do this. It should work now.
Oh, so what you're telling me is Hollow stupid? Wow.
Oh yeah, Pablo's still here. Pablo drew Gamer
hi,
Emilia.
Pablo.
I don't know if you saw that. If any of you guys
Oh,
saw
yes.
it. Yeah. She drew
Yes,
Emilia being
yes.
a pro Fortnite gamer.
Oh, didn't you also do those really funny bits of art where Subaru has all the hairstyles of the different people in the Emilia camp? That was bloody brilliant. Ah, fuck!
Can I see the one with Beatrice's style? I need that in my life.
Yes.
We'll do like a face reveal
Can
with the
Subaru, can
hairstyles.
Subaru be there with her? Oh my god. That'd be wholesome as fuck.
Echidonate? Is that Echidna's version of donating? Echidonate?
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Well, what is she gonna sell the tea like people sell bathwater? Is that how we're gonna do this?
Oh god. Out of all the candidates, Pristella would do that probably.
You know she would.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say Anastasia might.
I don't think Anastasia. I don't think
probably would.
It would be no. She would, but it would be a huge markup. It would be super fucking expensive.
Yeah, for sure. She'd like scam people. Yeah.
It'll make you live longer. It'll cure all your debt, cause you'll be in more debt.
Yay!
Wait, how does that make Emilia? No!
Just signs on the dotted line.
That's how money works, says Emilia.
That works for me. EMT.
Roswell told me money grows on trees.
She said EMT, but no, don't put us in debt.
EMT.
A kid knows.
EMT.
Why did they forgive Roz so easily? It's been a year, and they didn't forgive Roz. Petra still hates him. Garfiel still doesn't trust him.
I absolutely hate him.
Petra hates him, and he's a stupid fucking clown, but he's useful.
People really liked Gold's impression of Roswell, though.
Yeah, they were loving yours.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Anastasia, not a single flub. You scare me.
Good.
Get intimidated. Get ratioed, idiots.
Dude, I think she just hit a nat 20 on that fucking intimidation check. Holy shit.
Get ratioed with my nat 20.
Oh, fuck!
Fool.
Why do I always get
If
ratioed?
we bankrupt the Emilia camp, they can't run anymore, right?
Oh my god,
No.
D&D.
You don't seem to understand. Oh my god. How much money do we have to be paid to do that? Because I would go with
I'll do
negative.
it for free.
I want to do that.
Yeah, me
Fuck
too.
Yes.
I'd pay somebody else.
Although the mechanics of that would be really difficult to set up. Because if Subaru ever fucking dies...
We figured this out, don't worry.
No, because if Subaru dies, the campaign goes back! Like...
Oh, you're right.
That is true.
So everyone would have to protect Subaru.
Julius just goes to kill him. Straight shot to the jugular.
Straight bet. Do you mean a straight bet?
Straight bet, long shot? Yeah, straight shot.
I hate all of you.
Straight. Love you too.
You say that like you aren't the one making those puns.
You started
Number one victory royale.
finished
Yeah,
it.
Fortnite. We about to
Yeah,
get down.
Fortnite,
Get down.
about to get down. Get
10
down.
kills on
10
the
kills
board
on the
right
board
now.
right
Brain
now.
rot.
Just
Brain
like
rot
that tomato.
live.
Subaru's gonna have to return my death to fix this problem. I'll be back.
No.
Do we have anything else in the chat?
We have such good content.
I miss Hector.
All I need is a kitchen knife and a bit of elbow grease.
Wait, can I just say, if you guys actually wanted to do D&D, I'd DM that. I'd DM that.
Yes,
Sure.
I would
Yeah,
I would be down for some D&D.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
That'll
We'll talk
be
about
like
it later.
an interlude thing. That'll be our own little Arc 5 interlude.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be us. By then, hopefully, I'll have a setup. Maybe I don't know. No promises. But
Or maybe you'll still have your shite Mac, you fucking inferior bitch.
why are you so rude to me, Subaru?
Jesus Christ!
What have I
Wolf's
done
getting
to you?
aggressive.
What?
$1,000 Mac.
What
is
have I
you
done
did.
to you?
You did it to
Emilia-
yourself, okay?
You did this to
Emilia has a
yourself.
Mac
You
as
bought
well.
that fucking Mac.
Emilia
Yeah,
has a Mac.
and she also messed up. Do you see why we're in such financial difficulties? She bought a Mac.
Everything is Emilia's fault. Subaru's never wrong.
It was so expensive. I was considering returning my death to fix it.
Subaru.
Emilia, your knight's words bring
dare
dishonor
you.
to Lagunica and to my heart.
Oh,
And to
his
mine.
poor feelings. Oh, EMT, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Is there anything else that you got? Hollow, if we donate more, will you replace the Mac? Dude, you guys being here is fine. I don't tell you guys to donate. Yeah, do whatever you want.
Hello.
Whatever your heart desires.
But
Not
Anna
even,
does.
not even Felix's water magic can heal Julius. Hollow's Mac problems.
Can
Well, I
water
think
magic
water
even
magic
fucking
would probably
fix
make it
mechanical
worse.
problems?
I have
Yes,
to.
it now can.
I have to mute myself sometimes because my Mac starts screaming and the fan's like.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Yeah, I'm
Hollow,
hoping
my
mine wasn't
shitty
picked up
college
this whole
given
time.
laptop is better than your fucking Mac that you paid $1,400 for.
He said it was good, okay?
Guys, I bought this Mac when I didn't know I'd be a YouTuber. It's almost like I had a different career path in mind.
It's almost like you were dumb and couldn't see the future.
Mac Gang, yeah, Mac Gang, Emilia.
Oh, well, nah, it's all about the Blue Snowball Gang. Isn't that right there, Kurt?
Imagine having a shite Mac.
Snowball, I suppose.
Yeah!
Road
Sponsor
Mike, I
us, Blue.
suppose. Road Mike, I suppose.
Please give me money. I love money.
You guys always spam Hollow PC Fun, and then nothing happens, so that's fine. Spam it. Nothing's gonna happen.
Oh, no, you don't challenge them like that. That's not how that
I'm
works.
in close communication
say
with my
that.
friends. Don't worry.
I am in extreme debt. Anastasia has been wringing me dry.
Yeah, somebody just donate $1,000 to repay Hollow's
Well.
poor life decisions.
Well.
Oh my gosh! If someone don't do that.
Please,
Well,
do not do
first,
that.
if you donate $1,000,
He does not deserve
YouTube
it.
takes
He does
300
not
of it.
des-
Secondly, why would you do that? Thirdly,
Yeah.
please don't. I'll have a stroke on
He d-
stream.
He does not
Oh,
deserve it.
please
Okay.
do. Have a stroke on stream.
food.
Oh fuck.
Why is that encouragement? I hate you.
Love you too.
How are you guys feeling
Okay.
right now? Because like we can go for another 14, or we can just
We're supposed to do AMA.
Yeah,
so
let's do
AMA.
AMA.
Well, it's supposed to be
yeah.
cool.
Let's go
Yeah.
until the next hour's over. What is it, like 6 p.m. for you guys? 2.5 hour stream isn't too
Yeah,
bad.
15 more minutes. Yeah, 15 more minutes. Forget
Yep.
Azir sleeping bag. I have both of you on speed dial. I will legit PayPal you it back. Don't test me. I'm literally most afraid of them. Everybody
Cedric,
else.
don't pay.
Wait a second. Yeah, you do have people who actually do donate a lot of money.
I know.
consistently.
Yeah.
I still need to get in contact with DW, but I don't know where he went. He made his account that day he donated, so I don't know who he is.
Aw.
A lot of lovely donators, very generous and very kind.
30% commission. Yeah, so YouTube takes 30% of the dono, then they take another like 5-ish%, and then you have to pay tax on it. So, yeah, they're a corporation. They're a corporation. Do you guys have any questions for us though? The cast. Do you want us to say anything as us cast members here?
Oh yes, request time.
Plus,
You can participate, Nugget. I don't know. You can always unmute. You're a part of the cast.
yeah, come
Yeah,
on, Nugget.
Nugget, unmute your mic.
Were you talking to me this whole time?
We were all
No.
talking together, but you can
We're all
always...
here together.
Yeah.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are, Nugget.
I'm playing Animal Crossing.
When will the
Yes,
art winner?
yes, she is.
When will the art winner be announced? It's gonna be announced next week Wednesday. If you want to go into that giveaway, it's 3 free portrait-style art pieces from Spica Illustrations. It retails at around $60. I'll be covering partial of the fee for that if you guys win. So it says it's a way of me saying thank you for all the support on the channel. Go ahead and go to my finale recap that has like no views. It's a dead video. Just comment your favorite part of the finale, and I will randomly pick 3 of you. Mimi, wake up! Garf is calling you.
Hey, Super, they want you to do an oi 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 chota mare.
Wait, what? Again?
Yeah.
Okay. Oi, oi, oi! Chotto mate!
Very good.
The gruff of your voice is like so good for Garf.
Mhm.
How do you?
What is this Among Us?
How do you feel that Garf is being low-key swept away by Mimi forcibly against his will?
It's adorable.
Well,
It's so cute.
this is the first
I was gonna
time
be like,
Super-
yo, Garf looks a lot older. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. But then I realized
Same age.
he's
You're
14.
the same age.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. So yeah,
Isn't
good
She
to
just
go.
happens to be a midget.
Mimi's
yeah.
just like 3 feet tall, I think, right? She's like hella short.
Yeah, she's just dwarf.
She's a little midget,
She's
just like me.
dwarfed.
Is Garfield short?
Garf
'Cause-
is,
Yeah,
he's a
Not
little shorter
really.
than Subaru.
Well, not-
He's not short,
yeah,
but,
but he has a complex a bit because Federico is so much taller than him.
Yeah, Federico's
she's
like
freakish.
like 5, like
No,
9
she's,
or something.
she's like 6
Yeah.
foot, I think, isn't she?
Oh, is she?
She's like 5'11". She's taller than
Sylvan
Subaru.
with the $2, only 998 left. I will dead ass scream. Please do not. Okay. God. You're gonna hear a
You're gonna get kicked
You're
out.
gonna hear a news headline about like a random dude that just screamed so loud he got evicted out of his apartment. It's gonna be me.
Well, then you get a new apartment with all that money you just got.
Or you're going to get a call
Dude.
from a guy called HollowGraphic at 2 a.m. in the morning and says, "Fuck Wolf! Fuck, I've been evicted, man! I don't know what to do, man!"
Oh, dude, I don't know. Like, whenever we do these streams, people DM me and they're like, "Oh, what if I donate this much?" And I'm like, "What if you just come to the stream and listen?"
Yeah, what if you keep your money, buy the stuff that you need, and then come and have some fun watching our streams?
Okay, I've got a request here. Wolf, can you say Emilia Magi Tenshi? Okay.
Maji Tenshi? Magi Tenshi?
Maji.
Shut up.
Maji. Maji.
Shut up.
Illiterate.
All of you. Fuck you. E-M-T! Emilia Magi Tenshi!
I have a request from Kyles and Allie.
I saw it.
Oh, you did? Oh, do Yond.
Oh.
Yes, please, 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 please.
God almighty.
Just double checking. Yonder
I will
is
send you the
one
line.
that's,
I have it
dangerously
memorized. I got you.
obsessive,
I got you.
right?
I have it memorized.
Oh, okay,
Oh my
yeah, please.
God, what the fuck?
Hi, professional sleeping bag with $50 dono. Come on, everyone, get him a new piece. Dude, I'm DMing you right now. Thank you for the dono, but last time this happened,
What's the line?
Unfortunately for you, Hollow, I'm broke beyond compare.
I feel like I'm falling to the floor.
I'll just send you that one while I update this.
What do you want from me?
Okay.
Oh, I'm having a stroke.
Good.
It's okay. It's okay.
So this is the part where she's like, "Ehehehe," and she's like, "Subaru daisuki" at the very end.
God almighty, why do you memorize
right.
that?
I know the whole speech.
You creep me out.
You fall asleep to it.
Oh God.
I do.
Yeah, he does.
What the fuck?
He really does.
What? You know what I fall asleep to? What?
Nugget.
I've been.
Nugget.
I'm being exposed.
Nugget outing my boy Hollow as an even bigger degenerate than he already was outed as.
I hate all of you. Just say your line. Do the thing.
All right. Yonder Emilia.
Subaru, I love you.
Okay,
Don't
that
let
fucking gave me
anyone
chills.
come
What the
near
fuck?
That gave me chills. I'm currently typing up the rest of it, so have fun carrying the conversation.
Wait,
guys.
yeah, you better just type out the entire thing,
I
format
am.
it properly,
I am.
and then yeah, okay.
I am.
Okay, I'll wait.
I am. Carry.
If any of Subaru's lines are included in there, fit them in and I'll go along with it.
No, I want it to be good. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay. I'll just jump off a bridge and return by death. Make sure this conversation never happened. Bye.
No, come back. You can blame it all on Kanda.
You? Oh no, everyone's gone.
But Kanda isn't here. He can't take
All right,
responsibility.
our internal affair ministers can't handle this.
Let's do the ending sequence. I think that one would be great. What do you say?
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you mean? What do you say, Kobayashi?
Ah, you're so funny.
I laugh at my jokes and love me.
These hurt so much.
Going insane every single day.
I am.
Cedric,
I'm losing
no.
it. Hollow and Kyle just keep on breaking out into that fucking shitty, cringy song over and over again. It's done me in.
Take
I'm
me
done.
to your
Number one victory royale.
Yes, Jace.
Oh, I should play it. I should play that.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
God, this is such a creepy scene.
Got a number one victory royale.
Yeah, Fortnite about to get down.
You made me want to die so badly, I fucking ripped my headphones out of my laptop.
Felix singing.
Ah!
It hurts.
Give him a stroke.
Pain.
Give him a stroke.
Pain.
Give
Thank you,
him a
Azir.
stroke.
I appreciate you, buddy. I've yeah. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have part of it
I
typed
love
out.
Emilia.
Oh,
Okay,
are you doing
okay.
that? Okay, yeah, go for it. Give me some time.
Yeah.
Arabian Nights. Okay, go ahead.
You guys are my background noise while doing math. You must be really distracted then, because we're stupid. Hollow isn't here.
Are you gonna
and
say
it's
are you
annoying.
saying a line or what? Is that what you're doing?
No, someone just requested that I say, I love Emilia.
Sorry, I'm still typing this thing up and I'm getting freaked out.
Kyles, you better start freaking out as Rem after he says the line.
Oh, absolutely. I'll prep.
Okay,
I'll prep.
got it. Just give it a second. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, what's going on?
Hello?
I think
we've ascended into heaven.
What happened?
Wait, Wolf, I thought you were gonna say I love Emilia.
Yeah.
I have. I mean, do you want me to say it again?
Do it again. Do it again. I didn't hear it.
Okay. I love Emilia.
But Subaru, I just confessed my love to you.
Dumb bitch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You just blurted out, okay? I'm under a lot of mental stress.
$2 from
And you
Sylvan.
tortured me to death. At one
I'm
point in
broke,
my
but
life.
also
I can't
PC.
believe you did that.
I think Rem kind of deserved it for falling in love with someone like Subaru.
Okay, also, this wasn't checked at all. I'm sorry if this is wrong. But I think this is the entire ending off the top of my head from episode 11.
Oh my gosh.
I think.
Jeez.
I could be wrong. Also, she's batshit crazy this whole time. So good
Yeah.
luck.
Oh gosh. Is this the music that goes with it too? It's been a while since I heard it.
Are you playing?
No.
No. I was
Do
gonna say,
do do do
it's literally called Kiss of Death.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember which one.
You gotta sound like very like honeyed as well. Like you're very,
know.
ooh, I'm very happy. Yeah.
You're like you have a Rem voice, but yeah, it's not Rem.
Amelia Rem.
Yeah, Remelia.
Oh god, Subaru would have a stroke if that happened.
Number 1 and number 2 in his heart.
And
But
Krush
what if
is
they
number
combine?
3.
No, Felix is number 3.
No.
Emilia.
I want to be number
I love
3.
Phoenix.
Why am I not number 3 in your heart, Subaru?
I love Catboys, Emilia. I'm going to bang Felix.
Oh, that's canon
Well,
now.
okay, if that makes you happy.
Grandson, how could you?
I'm sorry, okay?
The debut of Wilhelm.
Subaru, how dare you love femme Catboys?
Don't cock block me, old man Will.
That was most unpleasant. Just go for your line. Go for your line.
Okay. I'm sorry, I haven't seen this one in a while. I was worried. Are you exhausted? I see. Alright then. Subaru? You like rest your head on my lap, right? Subaru, are you sleepy? Don't force it. You're always pushing yourself too hard for other people's sake. It gives me mixed feelings. I only want you to push yourself for me. But I wouldn't like a Subaru. I wouldn't like a Subaru who never looked at anybody else. I'm sorry. I'm so selfish, aren't I?
And then she kisses
I
him.
love you, Subaru.
And then he dies.
And then I fucking died. The
And
end.
he dies. The end. All right. Speed round. Ask us stuff, or we're ending stream.
Yes. Quick question.
Question.
Yeah, someone give us something real good.
Yeah, give us a
Echidna speech. No, no.
No.
You see, your return by death is a very.
You see, your return by death is very. I'm not reading this. Throws a script, runs.
Julius, come back here, you prick!
Mimi, can we get a Mimi want a cheeseburger?
Huh?
Can we get a Mimi want a cheeseburger from you?
Mimi want a cheeseburger! Oh, Mimi really does want a cheeseburger.
I'll order you one after this. Don't worry.
Hey, thank you!
Wait,
there you go.
There was a manga where Rem and Emilia switched bodies. Are you sure that was a manga?
It's not official.
Yes.
It's fan comic.
It's so cute.
That sounds so cursed.
It's a little sus.
That's a little sus.
It's a little sus.
Oh, Julius saying something sus is funny.
Number 1 victim.
No.
HollowGraphic.
What did you say, Kiki?
You said it was a little sus, I suppose.
Bearco, not you too!
Real question: what if Subaru's
He's
return
Robin,
by
so-
death enters among us, so we can't kill him? There's no point to the game.
Wait, that means I win, like, every time.
Mimi want a cheeseburger. All right, guys.
Yeah, it's OP in Among Us.
OP in Among. I think we've been going for long enough.
Yeah, I think I've finally lost it. Let's end it here.
Thank you.
Giving...
Oh, sorry. Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
No, just something silly.
Thank you everybody for stopping by. Thank you to all the donators, all the new channel members. Thank you for all of you who stayed from the beginning to the end. We're gonna do this next stream come Friday, and expect a video out for me come whenever the fuck I feel like putting it out. We're sending Fortnite lyrics now for Chug Jug, which I'm not gonna read anymore because I have to edit literally.
Just you wait, everyone. It's coming.
It's
so.
coming. I will say my channel's gonna be like 10% readings, 90% shit posting with the VAs. Legit, that's my channel. So
As it should be.
Lots of fun ideas.
Yep, I'll see you guys all on Friday. We can call that the new Happy ReZero Day, I suppose. We'll have a kid that do recaps on it. And it's
Fridays and Sundays. Your days, yeah.
Happy ReZero Day, everyone. I know that Season 2 has ended, but there's an Arc 5 reading you can all look at. Bye, Hollow and Cass. Great work. Thanks, Fanafki. Get some sleep. Get some sleep, dude. Bye, everyone. One by one. Actually, yeah, let's just all say bye. Bye.